That, oh well. It's a miracle. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Great reactions from everyone. Hi Fraktu, hi everyone. I told you this year, we're finishing this year. Trust. I just, I wanted to stream earlier. Thank you for blessing us this day, Kojima. I wanted to stream earlier, but y'all had the stage play thing. So I was doing other stuff in the meantime, waiting for y'all to finish watching. And now that you're done, here we go. Sure, this year. Okay, so just to reconfirm, I need to do the tea party first. I missed peak. I would have only watched for Natsuhi. Purgatorio. Wait! What? Did I swear I clicked on the tea party last stream. Did I just forget that it said Purgatorio there? That is just like the most blatant Dante's Inferno reference. Anyways, whatever. We're not doing this right now, not this early. Let me close Firefox. It's slowing me down. Natsui actors. Don't tease me like that. Don't speak nothing to me. Don't even talk to me right now. You did forget, incredible. To remember everything. What is this warning? What is this? Okay, there was something in my recording program. No worries. Hey everyone, good job finishing Umineko no Nakukuroni. Man, I still didn't have a clue what was going on when the story ended. So, just what happened? Was that basically the bad ending where time runs out before the culprit can be exposed? Definitely a bad ending. I think so too. Beatrice's letter, which Maria-chan read on the first day, did tell us in advance to solve the riddle of the epitaph. We were all so busy trying to protect ourselves and look for the culprit that we didn't even take a shot at it. Oh, even she's here, so it's... Like, I know everyone died, but like, they all were alive before the episode ended. So I thought only they would show up, but nah, this one, Shannon is also here. Yes, that's true. If we had actually tried to solve the riddle, I'm sure things would have ended differently. I wonder about that. Sharon-chan, you did a good job too. You don't have to be our waitress and serve tea. After all, this is a rap party. Me when I'm in a misleading stream titles competition. It is very important to me that my titles never relate to what I'm doing. It just have to be. It just has to be Hogswash. I mean, yeah, Sims is right. Isn't Homestuck just a retelling of Umineko anyways? Just like Deltarune? So, I mean, it's not that wrong. You don't have to be our waitress and serve tea. After all, there's a rap party. As a group of people who met a horrible fate, let's all get along and lick each other's wounds. Alright. Speaking of a horrible fate, should I... Sorry, I just remembered that, I forgot yesterday or the day before when we were talking about Umineko in the general chat, and Muro was talking about how he was never gonna read it. I had it all typed out, but I decided not to send it. But I had it ready. I typed it out, replied to him saying, "Yeah, don't read it. The protagonist sexually assaults everyone in the first like 10 seconds." And I don't know, like he didn't do it right now. It's just the licking made me remember that. And it was really funny. It was a +2, but I didn't send it because I didn't want to turn off Muro even more than he already is. Clearly, Andrew Hussey took inspiration from Umineko. Clearly, yeah, bro. I didn't send it. Speaking of a horrible fate, Shannon beats the rest of us hands down, doesn't she? She was such a beautiful character, so I thought she'd definitely survive it to the very end. But you would. That's another thing. Like I have already walked on knife's edge too many times in general chat, so I was thinking of myself as well there. I didn't want to inquire the ire of the tomato-lings once more than usual. This is also why I'm streaming to repay all the tea scene I have done recently. To repay my debts. So I thought she'd definitely survive until the very end, but she was killed right at the beginning, and on top of that, what was it? Half of her face was smashed, right? That's the worst. That was my role, so there was no way around it. Nissan, it's nothing for you to worry about. Judging by the final epilogue, even Milady and the others met with a considerably tragic end. It seems that way. I think I remember seeing this horrible picture, kind of like my entire body had been eaten apart and dismembered. Speaking of which, don't you think Kanunkun's last moments were the coolest? Even though he had the tables turned on him, it was a showdown with the culprit, right? It's a whole bunch better than our confusing last moments. Though in the end, I was no match for her. Still, I think that Kanunkun's death was a big hit. I mean, because of that, it became clear that a 19th person existed. Yes. I don't know. I'm still not convinced. Like, obviously, Beatrice exists. I'm just saying that. Whatever, I'm not doing this right now. We just started. Yes, at the time, everyone's location was obvious. So it was impossible for anyone other than some unknown 19th person to kill Kanunkun. You know, it is possible. Okay, whatever. I did say it was Beatrice from the beginning, over and over. I don't want to believe it, but that does prove the culprit was a witch calling herself Beatrice. That's right. There were many strange things that happened which a human cannot do. Only a witch could do things like Auntie Eva's locked room murder. A human couldn't do that. Not only is it clear that a 19th person exists, but it is also obvious that this person holds a power that humans can't even imagine. In that case, I don't think there's anything wrong with calling this person Beatrice. We probably met at the very end. Met with the Golden Witch. That's why I keep telling you Beatrice exists. It all went bad because no one ever believed. Even one of my witch friends says miracles won't happen if you don't believe. One of your what? Wait, what? Did I read that wrong? So she knows other witches? I don't know. She's just saying hogswash and nonsense. That's right. Beatrice-sama is generous to those who respect her. I feel as if despite the fact that horrible incidents kept occurring one after the other, Maria-sama wasn't in danger from Beatrice-sama until the end. Maria did believe in Beatrice from the very beginning, but then so did Kanan-kun and the others, so how do you explain how they were all killed? I have an answer! I have an answer! I'm not saying it right now, but I have an answer. I said it in the other streams. Just know I haven't forgotten. Nothing. I've forgotten nothing. Beatrice-sama probably had her reasons. If the epitaph poem represented Beatrice-sama's resurrection ritual, then she needed many sacrifices. He must simply have been designed to be one of those. Shannon-chan, you met a horrible end. At the very least, I wish your death could have been more peaceful and pretty. Well, it's not like it hurt. Besides, as you can see right now, I'm perfectly fine, so don't worry. Shannon proved this by stroking her cheek, which had been crushed during the story, and everyone laughed out loud, smiling. Lol. Well, it feels a bit weird saying this, but I was sure the story would be in the standard mystery genre. I'm a little surprised to find out that it's a fantasy. After all, a story revolving around an inheritance set on a Western-style mansion, shut away on an isolated island. I thought that was the classic formula for mysteries. It's not fantasy! Beatrice exists! Yes, we know. Beatrice-sama does exist. That's right. Beatrice-sama does exist. I hate to admit it, but I've got no choice. Because it's obvious that a 19th person, the witch, was involved. She pulled off many things that would be impossible for humans. During the story, we thought of all kinds of things, trying to deny that. But now, I can say it clearly. Each one of them, all of them, were crimes impossible for a human. Those crimes would be impossible to carry out unless it was the witch Beatrice using all of her powers. All of the power magic could provide. The culprit was a witch. That point is perfectly clear. Long live Beatrice-sama! Everyone believed. I'm happy. They're pushing in the point so hard that it makes me not want to believe. Like, obviously she exists, I know. But I still don't think she was directly involved in anything. At least not until the very end when the epitaph said she was gonna be revived. Before all the events that happened before... why am I doing this right now? Whatever. Before all the events that happened before she was revived were all not involving her. It was either Kinso doing things or the servants doing things. That's what I believe. I don't think Beatrice could directly interfere with anything until the twilight came when she was revived. Gods and witches might seem terrifying to people who are frightened of them, but I think they must have affection for those who believe in and respect them. I think it's just as you say. So now we're all done with playing with murder cases. Now's the time to pull ourselves together and try hard to solve the riddle of the epitaph, just like Beatrice said, right? Agreed. Beatrice will definitely be happy. We all ignored that letter during the story, after all. Even though it was thrust right in front of us, we almost completely ignored it. I kind of feel sorry for Beatrice-sama. I have a memo with a cool epitaph on it. Let's all solve the puzzle. Let's all solve the puzzle. The story probably went wrong ever since that time. That may be so. Maybe we should have tried solving the epitaph's riddle from the beginning, like Beatrice-sama said. Well, it's a little late now. Even so, let's try solving it now and see if the witch forgives us. Let's go. Let's try to solve the riddle of the epitaph. Here we are. Behold the sweet fish river running through my beloved home of old. As Maria put her notebook on the table and opened to the page where the epitaph was written, everyone peered closely at it and had fun and lively discussion as they started guessing this and that about the riddle. Surrounded by the smell of the black tea and the freshly baked vanilla cookies. Oh my gosh, I'm hungry. Vanilla cookies and sugar cookies are my favorite cookies. Like, gosh. They spend the time comfortably and happily. Solve it, man. I already solved it in the first stream. Now I just gotta wait for these numbnuts to do it. Wait a second, you guys. Battler said in a tone that ruined the mood. Good one. His expression looked a little unhappy. What could he not like about all this, son? I've been listening to you guys, and why did you all stop thinking? Why are you so sure that the witch was behind all this? That's what I'm saying! Oh my gosh, this guy is smart or something. Don't you realize that stuff like that doesn't exist? Okay, not that far. With just the words, the happy atmosphere of the tea party disappeared in no time at all. George and Jessica, and Shannon and Kanon, and Maria. All of them stared blankly, wondering why Butler was saying such weird things. Even the foolish and arrogant Butler noticed he had said the wrong thing. Stop thinking. I wish. Okay, so unrelated, completely unrelated. I just thought of it, but like last stream, I had already said that I'm curious how the story will proceed. Is it gonna be new characters? Is it gonna be like the last people that survived the last people that died didn't actually die, like the kids, the survivors who died in the credits, maybe they continue like they didn't actually die, or is it gonna be a time loop thing where we're gonna go back to the start? Anyways, and I just thought about that randomly because I just like I'm gonna have to remember all the voices of all the adults that died early on if we go back to the start. Oh gosh. Well, come on. Isn't it clear that these crimes were impossible for a human? Yeah. None of the cases would have been possible for a human. That's right. After all, wasn't it full of things that you couldn't explain using humans? I don't understand what you're saying, Butler-sama. I'm the one who doesn't have a clue what you guys are talking about. Isn't it obvious that humans committed these crimes? There's obviously no such thing as witches, right? Then, what about when I was killed at the storehouse and something horrible was done to half my face? If the culprit was human, how could they have accomplished it? Well, I mean, it's hard to imagine how they could have done something that awful. But that was the Rose Garden storehouse, right? I'm sure there were plenty of weird tools in there. Don't ask me, but they could have used some electrical tool like a grinder or an electric saw, couldn't they? I'm just letting you know he's watching this like it's a Super Mario people chat. What I'm imagining is like the spectators in Squid Game, just some big auditorium, glass auditorium, like a window on the roof of my house right now, just all of you just peering down watching me. Like with double-sided glass so I cannot see y'all. It's obvious because, you know, I cannot go into the channel, so I literally cannot see y'all. But y'all watching me, that's horrifying. That's yes, go my wonder silver. Okay, Butler. Then how do you explain grandfather's disappearance from the locked room of his study? I bet 5 million on this horse. I told you I wouldn't let you down. This year, bro, this year. Oh yeah, I just had to read some Homestuck chapters. Now I'm back. Grandfather disappeared all of a sudden, even though the door was sealed, remember? We talked about that during the story too. Is that impossible that grandfather used some trick to fold the receipt? It's also possible that he went out the window or fell out the window, and ought not to, he locked it from the inside. I can think of a bunch of tricks you could use without relying on magic, you see? That makes... Oh crap, I skipped it too early. That makes sense, but... In that case, Butler-kun, how do you explain the way my parents were killed in the guest room? That one, like... I'm really bad at locked room puzzles. Extremely bad. So I'm really curious about that one. That one's gonna be fun. I hope it's not something lame, like it's just like there's another door. No, I like when locked door puzzles are done correctly. The door was sealed by the lock and the chain. Naturally, the windows were sealed too. How would you suggest a human could have killed my parents? Well, you're right. We did have to leave that trick alone during the story. Anyway, there's a good chance the culprit had the key at least, and it was possible to look in through the crack of the door that the chain allowed. That is extremely far-fetched, but it is possible that some device was used through the crack. Or maybe they brought something out through the crack. Well, even though the chains are incredibly simple, they're a big factor in constructing that locked room. But authors have done almost every possible locked room trick there is to do by now. If you bought just a few locked room mysteries from the bookstore or other, you could probably find some trick that would fit perfectly. Anyway, I can't think of one now, but I can state for certain that a human could manage it somehow if they tried hard enough. Isn't that argument horribly irrational? Isn't it just ridiculous to claim that it's possible for a human to do something even though you can't explain how? I mean, you're absolute hogswash because isn't it more irrational to say it was magic? Like, that's the epitome of irrationality. Why is that ridiculous? Why did all of you stop thinking? Even if it looks impossible, it has to be doable. Doesn't it always work like that? Butler, you're the one being ridiculous. If you think a human could have done it, try explaining how. You can't you? And just because I can't explain it, that immediately makes the culprit a witch. Without an argument, all of the unsolved crimes in the world could be resolved by saying a witch is the culprit. Butler, you're sidestepping the issue, and you can't explain anything. We are saying a human can't do it. Therefore, the culprit is something that isn't human. And that something is a witch. And yet you keep arbitrarily deciding that witches are impossible, even though you can't explain anything. It's almost like humanity was during the Dark Ages. Like those fools who claimed that the earth couldn't possibly be spinning. And that the heavens had to be spinning around the earth, even though they couldn't say how. That kind of argument kind of pisses me off. So this is basically what you're trying to say. If I can't explain how a human could do it, then I must accept that the culprit was the witch Beatrice. It's not like we're forcing you. We're just wondering on what basis you can say such nonsense. Nonsense? Hey, is what I've been saying really that weird? Am I the one who's crazy? You guys are starting to freak me out. Butler-sama. When I died in the boiler room, I was killed by a 19th person who shouldn't exist. Can you explain how a human could have done that? Yes I can. I'm just saying. You're stupid. This Umineko is pissing me off. At that time, the location of the 18 were all known. Even so, I was killed. We talked about that in the story as well. Kumasawa Ba-chan, for example. She said that she followed right after you headed down to the boiler room, but for all we know, that might have been a lie. She might have entered the boiler room with you and caught you by surprise. Or maybe when you stepped into the boiler room, you activated some kind of trap, one that might have been set up to hit you with one of those ice picks. After all, the stink of grandfather's body was coming off from the incinerator. Someone was bound to come, so all the culprit had to do was set up a trap, and it would have been more than possible for them to stay away from that place and create an alibi for the time of your death. You talk about a trap in the boiler room, but what kind of trap? That's right. After what happened, we all immediately ran over to the boiler room. But we didn't find any kind of weird device like that. That is correct. Butler-sama, what kind of trap do you claim I was killed with? Well, I don't know that. But anyway, that must have pulled off some kind of a trap. Or maybe someone is lying, or what about this? Kanun-kun, what if the whole thing was just you play acting? That's it. You were play acting. Auntie Eva and Uncle Hideyoshi were also play acting. They made the locked room themselves and were only pretending to be dead. Butler, has your head been feeling alright? Should I bring you some cold drinks? Don't look at me with those prying eyes. I'm not saying something that crazy. I'm just pointing out possibilities that could have been used as tricks, alright? Look, isn't one of the cliches in mystery stories that the victims aren't really dead? Cliches? Oh, okay, so when Kanun-kun was killed, we really did know for sure where the rest of us were. And let's assume that Kumasawa Ba-chan wasn't lying. But that only holds the truth for the survivors. If the culprit pretended to be dead, placed themselves together with the real victims to hide themselves, and then acted on their own later, then everything would be explained. I guess... Are you trying to say that Auntie Eva or one of the rest of them was the culprit? But Dr. Nanjo confirmed everyone's death as a doctor, remember? That's right. Dr. Nanjo checked all of the victims. Butler-sama, for your theory to work, wouldn't Dr. Nanjo would have to be one of the culprits too? Yes? Why is that so out of the question? He was the closest one to Ginza. My main thing is that I suspect the servants and the doctor. I think that Shannon didn't actually die. And I think Kanun was a suicide. Maybe Shannon was also a suicide. But I think it fits better if she was alive. No thinking. I'll stop thinking. You know, just... The game will say everything. Yeah, that's right. Once you consider that Dr. Nancho might have been one of the culprits and faked the proclamation of death, the whole story changes. See, that's also a cliche in mystery novels, isn't it?
But Dr. Nanjo was also killed.
About that... That's right. Dr. Nanjo faked his death. I mean, there wasn't anyone except Dr. Nanjo that could examine the corpses properly, and everyone was really confused then anyway. We didn't have any spare time to check and see if he still had a pulse. With this theory, any one of the dead people could have been walking around.
I think that it would have been hard for the 6 of us who died in the beginning to do that. After all, the shutter was closed, and there was a padlock that couldn't have been opened from the inside.
Yeah. Mom was holding onto the key. So was Mon one of the culprits too? Wait a second. Maybe it was impossible for the first 6, but in that case of Aniki's parents, the door was only locked on the outside, so they could have opened it from the inside. That's right. After we left the room, maybe they jumped out of the window and got to the boiler room first. Is that too much? Or maybe Dr. Nanjo made a mistake when examining the corpses. Look, he said it himself, right? He said that there's a very high probability of making a mistake when examining corpses. They disguised it well or prepared a substitute corpse or something and faked their own death. Let's leave the method of trick they use for later, and you see, it's not that hard to deny a 19% existed. Much less a witch. At least that much is completely impossible.
I don't know why you've been trying so stubbornly to say that one of us is a culprit. In other words, you want to suspect one of your relatives.
That's not it. It's just, I can't easily accept that a 19% existed, and even if one did, I think we should construct our argument from the point of view that the culprit was a human, witches are something you can only start talking about in desperation, at the very end, after everything else has been disproved. That's what I'm trying to say. I mean, come on, there's no way witches exist, right? Why have you all just been casually accepted the culprit was a witch? I think it's great how your family love makes you hate the thought that someone close to you is a murderer, but is it alright to just brush things over like that? Don't you want to find the detestable culprit who killed so many people? Aniki, you want to avenge your parents, don't you? Jessica, you want to avenge Kanun-kun and Kanun-kun, you want to avenge Shannon-chan, right? Shannon-chan, you should at least want to know who it was that killed you. Why have you all totally surrendered and decided that the culprit was a witch? What's wrong with all of you? The foolish and short-tempered butler tried to force his ignorance on the others by yelling at them. Who's insane narration? I still believe in my theory that Beatrice is the narrator when Umineko. John Umineko when Butler isn't the narrator. Do not stop thinking. There's so much I could just create a whole story by myself right now with the information I have, and it's just okay. Look, it's just I don't trust the servants. I think the servants are way too indebted to Beatrice. But it's just it's not like no. I don't think that Beatrice did anything at all until she was revived. I think that it was all Kinso. I'm sticking with my original theory. That is just Kinso told the servants to do everything. Which is okay. I think that Shannon was ordered to kill the family members and then kill herself or disguise or pretend to be dead. Because like we didn't see a picture. Like who's to say she didn't just spread viscera on her face to make it look like she was dead? Or, even easier, the fact that all the faces were dismembered doesn't let you know who's who, so she could have just put her clothes on someone else's dead body. So either she killed herself along with everyone else, or she was still alive. Then we move on to Kanon-kun, who I definitely think was a suicide. Like, he just killed himself. He was ordered to kill himself in the boiler room. And then I had already said that I don't think Kinso was dead because it just didn't fit at all. It was a death that wasn't ordered by that wasn't. What am I saying? Just whatever, your mom. It's just Kinso's death wasn't. It doesn't fit into the poem. It doesn't fit into the epitaph. That's why Kinso's death bothered me so much. And I think it wasn't. So okay, I think Shannon was dead. And Shannon's body was used as a decoy for Kinso's body. That's what I think. That's what I was saying back then as well. So I think Kinso was alive the whole time. I'm just hogswash nonsense. This sucks, bollocks. It's just, I have it in my head. It makes sense in my head. It's just explaining it. It's hard. I think Kinso was behind everything. I think Kinso ordered the servants to kill people and then kill themselves. I think Kinso never died. I think his body in the boiler room was just another dead body disguised as his. And that's about where my theorem ends. I just think that Kinso is the main force behind everything. Not everything that we blame Beatrice for, we need to blame Kinso for, is what I'm saying. Because I don't think Beatrice was able to interfere with anything, or at least she isn't the type of person to interfere with anything, until the poem said she was revived. I'm gonna drink juice now. Juice has been drank. However, everyone just looked at him pityingly, silently watching over him. Then the wise Maria laughed and pointed. That's so funny. The ignorant battler and the wise Maria. Is that one image? The lion and the monkey? And pointed out Battler's mistake for him.
We're just astounded. All you've been doing is repeating this nonsense, thinking you figured something out, Butler. So what? And how would a human do it? Concretely, whenever when you ask you those questions, all you say is, I just can't think of anything now, or with some kind of device, or something using abstract words to run away and evade the topic. In fact, I want to ask you, Battler, why don't you believe in Beatrice? She exists, so why don't you believe?
Because she doesn't exist. Witches don't exist. There's no way. She was almost like a stubborn child refused seeing for no reason. The pitying gazes quietly blanketed Battler, but they didn't reach his stubborn heart. You're acting just totally like a kid who can't have his way.
Butler-sama, I understand your feelings, but...
Beatrice-sama does exist. Butler-kun, why don't you believe? Look at how much circumstantial evidence there is. I don't accept the argument that if I can't explain it, it's all the witch. If you don't know a light bulb shines... No, if you don't know how a light bulb shines, if you don't know the principle, does that mean it's all magic? It doesn't, does it? There's nothing that can't be explained without magic. All of this about witches and magic is just abdiction of thought. You just surrendered and gave up because you don't understand what happened. I'm right, aren't I?
Well, I'm not surprised, but it looks like you're the only one who's not going to believe no matter what. If even a single person doesn't believe, the miracle won't occur. So, if you don't rethink your ignorant theories, the magic won't be completed.
Now I see. I finally figured it all out. So in other words, you guys want to get me to say that the witch exists, don't you? If everyone accepts this lie, it will become the truth. That's what this is all about, isn't it? Well, too bad. This is the one place I'm going to have to say too bad. That's no goddamn good at all. I refuse. You guys are all pressing me, and that is exactly why it's no goddamn good.
Why?
Sorry, but why don't you let me flip over the chessboard one last time? If you want to force me to accept that there's a witch, there's really an easy way. And it's not the roundabout way of saying humans can't do it, so it must be a witch. All you have to do is actually show it to me. The way a witch did it with magic. Furthermore, what Maria said earlier is what will really dig her grave. You said that if even one person doesn't believe, a miracle won't occur. But real miracles happen whether people believe in them or not. Even if I alone don't believe. So any miracles or magic or witches that exist only because I believe in them are downright lies. The uneasy mood following Butler's ignorant rant was thoughtfully blown away by a very refreshing and light laugh. Whose laugh? Butler was surprised by that voice which he had never heard before. When he looked at George and Jessica and Shannon and Kanun and Maria, he noticed that they had suddenly gone respectfully silent. What?! I didn't think she was gonna okay, alright, okay. We have waited months for this. I always stop at the worst times.
Beatrice.
Organ short 600 million in C minor? I'm scared, chat. I'm actually frightened. It's like the way the original Final Fantasy VII, where you just hear Sephiroth this, Sephiroth that, but you don't see him for like half the game, and then when you finally see him, it's the most horrifying thing ever. Like this... Obviously I knew she existed, but it's so insane to see her.
Wonderful. I haven't been able to meet such a charming human for quite some time.
What? Who are you?
So, you don't even know the host of the tea party to which you were invited. Simply wonderful.
You are graced by the presence of the Golden Witch who has lived for 1,000 years. Beatrice-sama.
I am most honored to see you, Beatrice-sama.
Please forgive Butler Kun's ranting.
This guy's just stubborn, and he still doesn't understand the situation he's in. It is fine. After 1,000 years, most witches get tired of living. Once in a while, it is nice to meet a man with backbone such as yourself. It is quite an honor to be present when Beatrice shows herself, Butler.
No, this is some shit. Are you really that desperate to make me believe that a witch, that a 19th person is the culprit? This is starting to get interesting, and it's no goddamn good. You must be an illusion of the witch Beatrice who's assorted by Maria and the others. And only when everyone believes in your existence will you finally be allowed to exist. Tips updated. Okay, I'll make her voice louder. Where's my mouse? There. I know this isn't it, I was just checking it again. Oh? Missing on the 10th twilight. He denies the existence of the witch. Will he be invited to the Golden Land? I don't remember that was there before. Anyways. Wow. Cool. Aw, that's... Ooh, what a cool dress. And the crest is all over her body. Wait. Oh my gosh, I didn't... These ones I didn't read. Ushiramiya Natsuhi, found shot to death in front of the witch's portrait. How impudent of her to challenge a witch with nothing but a mere gun. Of course she ended up like this. Kihihihihihi. Ushiramiya Jessica, missing. Even though she was given a precious invitation to the Golden Land, a single idiot refused to believe in the witch, and all of the magic went away. Afterwards, she was chewed to bits by demons and went to hell. What? Ushiramiya George, missing. Even though he was finally reunited with everyone and all were getting along so well in the Golden Land, all of the magic was spoiled thanks to a stubborn idiot. Afterwards, he was chewed to the bone by demons and went into hell. Ushiramiya Maria, missing. Kihihihihi. Ushiramiya Butler, missing. The fool who spoiled the world where everyone could have been happy. Beatrice is very angry, but for some reason she looks like she's having a lot of fun, almost as if he's the first fun new toy she's had in 1,000 years. If only this idiot could just hurry up and see you like the rest. And Beatrice. No last name. The Golden Witch who has lived for 1,000 years. She has already surpassed the limits of humans, and it is said that she will appear in response to a human summons, just as demons do, to lend them her power for a price. Likes black tea and ice cream, hates boredom and those who deny her existence. Nope, that's not what I meant to do. Wait, I thought you could make... Darn, I thought you could do it individually. Anyways. You're that kind of a fictional being, right? That's why you want to make me believe too. You can't exist because I alone don't believe in you. Isn't that right?
Your power of understanding isn't bad for a common mortal who knows nothing of magic. I see. It seems like you were born with a strong magic-resisting power. The natural enemy of us witches. No matter how much we tip you upside down and shake you, you will never believe in us. Therefore, magic will fall short against you. That attitude of yours makes a great deal of sense.
I've got no clue what you're saying. It's very kind of you to go to all of this trouble of showing yourself to us, but I don't believe you exist in the slightest. It's true that many strange things happened during those 2 days. Like Maria said earlier, even though I think that all of the tricks could be explained, I still can lay out the practical details of each one. But that doesn't mean I'll surrender. I'm different from the rest of them, see? I've never argued that it was the work of a witch just because I can't explain it.
My interest in you grows deeper. It would be worth my time to break you. You're just the kind of man I'd love to force into praising my name. You're just the kind of man I love to force into kissing my toes.
Talk all the nonsense you want. I deny you exist. All of the events can be explained with human tricks. There's no room for even a speck of magic or witches.
Wonderful! This is the perfect form of diversion from 1,000 years of boredom. Then let me ask you. A short while ago, you said that using the crack in the door would be sufficient to kill Eva and Hideyoshi, right? Explain how you would do that using your human tricks.
Suddenly jumping right into the toughest part, are you? Does that mean that this is the trick you're proudest of, Miss Real Culprit? Whoa? What was that? Beatrice shook her golden pipe, and 7 colors of gentle smoke trailed out of the end. The smoke quietly obscured the surroundings, and they were suddenly in the hallway of the mansion. In front of their eyes, a slightly open door secured by a chain. Yes, it was the entrance to the room where Eva and Hideyoshi had been killed. Nice trick.
Now then, show me what you would do through this small crack, Battler.
They probably had some device to shoot those ice picks. If they used that...
How would you aim at Eva over the bed when you can't see that far through this crack? And how would you reach Hideyoshi in the bathroom with the door shut?
Damn it! There is a crack. There should be some way.
If you can't think of one, allow me.
No. Go on. How would a great witch do it then? Come on, let's see your little trick.
Butler, you're being rude to Beatrice. It's fine, quite fine. What a charming man. It will make it all the more enjoyable to break him.
Huh. You really want to make me kiss your toes that much? Only if I surrender. But watch, I'll definitely expose this trick and then I'll make you kiss my ass instead.
What a charming man. I shall remember that promise. Weak witches kiss the behinds of demons to gain power, because there is no greater oath of total submission. It is words like those that give me the desire to subjugate you.
Paying no mind to Battler's crude ranting, Beatrice once again waved her golden pipe. Yes, for that golden pipe was her precious magic wand.
Come arise, children! I am the guide of purgatory. Wield the 7 stakes which forgave the deadly sins.
Guided by those magic words, which sounded like a psalm, 7 stakes gathered. They were the stakes of the 7 demons symbolizing the deadly sins of sinful people.
That's cool. Beelzebub and Asmodeus, come,
Forgive their sins. Release the spirits of the sinners. What? The stakes of Beelzebub and Asmodeus responded to Beatrice's call. The two demonic stakes burst into motion like billiard balls struck by a cue, and were sucked in through the crack of the door. Then came the sound of them deflecting repeatedly off the walls of the room, making a sound like a woodpecker. And finally, a pleasant sound could be heard. It was a small, satisfying sound, like the one heard when someone is chopping firewood and the falling axe neatly and easily slices through the wood. It was a sound of the two stakes burying themselves deep into Eva and Hideyoshi's foreheads. Right through the middle. Want to see? They had definitely heard two sounds like someone's forehead being split open. Butler wasn't permitted to see it since he was the one on the other side of the door. But those two had died again, and this second time they lay not an inch apart from where they had lain the last time, with the exact same blood spray as before. You must be crazy. This is insane. You can't kill people with this insanity. I most certainly can. I can kill them just like this. Suddenly they were no longer in the hall, but seated in the tea party they had started from. Everyone but Butler was sitting meekly, but Kanonen was moaning, fresh blood dangling from his mouth. What? Such bad manners for a tea party. Wait. Okay, so these are not changing. They're not being described as being eaten by demons. But another thing is that we've been told everyone would revive at the Golden Land, and yet it's only the last players in the Golden Land. But no. This isn't the Golden Land. This is Purgatorio. It said so. The Golden Land would have happened if Butler believed in Beatrice. I see. Satan's stakes were buried deep into Kanon's chest. Wait, what? Wait, no, yeah, that was normal. I had forgotten. Kanon-kun! Damn it! Butler was the only one getting agitated. George, Jessica, Shannon, everyone else was meekly hanging their heads like students being told off by their teacher. Kanon, you were captivated by a trifling anger and tried to disturb my banquet. Your deadly sin is being easily captivated by anger. Whoa! Did I say that when I was going through the credits? I don't think so, but that they cooked. That one makes sense, yeah. I forgot what I said as my explanation for Kanun having the stake of Satan. Cleanse yourself from regret and do it over. There's some. Beatrice-sama, please forgive him. I think Kanun has repented enough. Wonderful. I am generous to those who respect me. Cut the crap. Don't think for a second this piss-poor show of theatrics will convince me of your sorry existence. Like hell, you're a 1,000-year-old witch. Your tricks aren't 1,000-year-old. At best, they're the accumulation of 100 years of cliches that the mysteries world has created. They're not magic. No way they are magic. All these crimes can be explained with human tricks. You would explain my 1,000 years with 100 years by humans. Good. That's why I like you. Foolish Butler. Stop yourself, Butler-kun. Beatrice-sama is someone you can't. go against. Shannon started moaning, holding her cheek. Maybe she had a toothache, but it didn't look anything like a toothache. A slight redness spread across the cheeks Shannon was holding. It looked like that redness was causing Shannon unbearable pain. She started to press her nails into her cheek and drops of sweat appeared all over her body. Shannon, hang in there, hang in there. What's going on? Damn it, what the hell is that red stuff? It expanded rapidly, covering half of Shannon's face. Then the stupid dunce battler finally realized. Please, Battler-kun, please believe in Battery-sama. I beg you. Because you won't believe. Because you won't believe. The magic is wearing off. For the first time in his life, Butler heard the sounds like a pomegranate splitting. The red spray even landed on Butler's face. How sad. Shannon's face had been split in half, and her last horrible moments in that storehouse had been repeated all over again. Shannon! God damn you! Damn you! Stop it! Stop it! Don't humiliate the dead! Don't humiliate the dead! This time red patterns began to spread across George's entire body. Oh no, the demons got him! It was like the beautiful cloud drawn by milk when it was poured into the Black Sea. They slowly spread out and extended across his entire body. As they grew more saturated in color, they seemed to give George increasingly greater pain. Looking at these bizarre patterns, Butler was petrified as he frantically thought with his pitifully, clumsy imagination about the nature of the strange deaths that George and the others had experienced. Before long, that redness reached the nearby Jessica as well. No! I don't want to see this! Stop! 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 What did Aniki do? What did Jessica do? Just stop!
Don't let the witch break your spirit. Deny her. Erase her. As long as the least one person denies her, she's an illusion that cannot exist.
Whoa, wait, Jessica's goaded! I knew it! Oh! I'm so happy, she's so cool, I love Jessica. Are you okay? Jessica! Aniki! George was no longer shaped like a person. He looked like the pile of leftover meat after the good, delicious meat had been scraped off to be cooked. The only traces left of his time as a human were the shape of his lower jaw and ribcage, and it was clear that Jessica, who was covered with a steadily strengthening redness, was approaching the same fate. Sims is right. Wait, I like that a lot because of the parallel. She inherited the aura of Natsuhi. Natsuhi standing up to the witch like that. Jessica did it as well. I'm gonna cry, I love them.
Butler, quick, believe in bad things. If you don't, everyone's magic will wear off.
Maria, it's all over your body too.
I resurrect all the dead with my magic. But as long as you don't believe, that magic will hold no true power. But I'm sure that a man of your caliber won't be broken by something like this, right? But we didn't want to doubt our friends. We refused to face reality and gave in to the witch. But you. I know you won't. Give in to that witch.
Jessica, no! How sad. Jessica met the same end. Just like George, she ended up like a butcher's leftovers. Broken apart, melted, and all mixed up. So you couldn't tell which was George and which was Jessica anymore.
Butler, don't cry. The batteries will resurrect the dead over and over. So there's nothing to be sad about. So even if we die, we're still just...
The redness began eating into the whole of Maria's body. When he saw this, the foolish butler screamed out loud. Prison strip?
You bitch! You won't get away with this! I'll never forgive you. You call yourself a witch? You call this magic? I'll deny you with every last favor of my body. I don't care what happens. There's not a chance in hell I'm ever gonna accept you. If you want me as an enemy that bad.
Whoa, I'll get you for this. You're gonna pay for this. You're going to fucking pay. You're gonna regret making Ushirami a butler your enemy. I'll deny you no matter what. Every last impossible thing I'll explain with humans. I'll erase every cell of you from this world. Oh! Okay. Okay, alright. Okay, that was... Why does this song sound so familiar? I swear I've heard this before. Anyways, that was... Oh my gosh, this song is great. Oh, turn it up. Whoa! Wait! Oh no, Daisuke voices Battler? That's cool! I didn't recognize his voice. Oh, Hara Sayaka, that sounds familiar. I'm sorry, I'm still enjoying the song. The song goes hard, but I should be talking. Anyways, that was awesome. That was very great. It is very funny how this really means that the entirety of episode 1 was just like a prologue. Like now the actual fight between Battler and Beatrice will start. So that's really funny. I like that. Yeah, that was cool. I like that. And Jessica denying Beatrice's existence, well, quote unquote, right? Quote unquote denying Beatrice's existence, like defying her. I couldn't have asked for something better. That was incredible. I love Jessica. She was already one of my favorite characters. She was my second favorite character besides Natsuki. So that makes me happy. Yes, Ono Daisuke is a JoJo guy. He voices Jotaro in part 3, and I also know him and love him more as Sebastian from Black Butler. The end. Alright, see you all in another 2 to 3 months for episode 2. Ooh! Okay. You speak well, battler. That's the kind of thing that can divert me from my 1,000 years of boredom. Come, explain. Try explaining it all with your so-called human tricks. And learn how lowly humans are. Let's see you try to use what humanity has built up in 100 years to oppose my 1,000. And it will make forcing you to submit all the more enjoyable. So, tell me, battler, what about Maria's letter? How the 6 were killed? The shutter? The receipt seal? The locked room with the chain? Kanon in the boiler room? Genji and the others in the parlor? Natsuhi's suicide? The riddle of the epitaph? The location of the hidden gold? Come, battler, why don't you show me the power of humans? Wow! Let the class trial begin. New element added. Wow. Alright. I'm flabbergasted, that was awesome. Time for the question mark. Welcome to the tea party of the unhuman. Bronze Trophy. Welcome to Rokkenjima. Arrive at the island of Rokkenjima. Bronze Trophy. Episode 1 Tips Hunter. Browse all the Episode 1 tips. Bronze Trophy. Episode 1 Character Hunter. Browse all the Episode 1 characters. Bronze Trophy. Options Changer. Change the settings and config. Silver Trophy. Episode 1 Tea Party. Read the end of the Episode 1 Tea Party. Golden Trophy. Legend of the Golden Witch. Read to the end of Episode 1. Alright, question mark, question mark, question mark. You can ignore those trophies? Who do you think you're talking to? I'm... If there's something to read, I'm gonna read it. What sort of tea should I What sort of tea should I prepare next? You have free choice of any brand that ever was throughout the ages. Who? Dead eyes, blue hair, blue bow tie. This is a character from a different game. What? Okay. Dried plum tea. Those dried plums that go for 200 yen a pack. For 1,000 years I have been fond of black tea, but I did not know of such a thing. I will never tire of living in this world. Beato. Beato, you don't have to display such hostility. I am just a wandering witch. I didn't come with the intention of violating the rules of your territory.
There is not even a silver hostility. I am just terribly concerned about seeing that the legendary witch Lady Berncastel is well attended to. You misunderstand. I am powerless. Before a witch such as you, with the dreadful power to kill a person 100 times over, I am completely powerless. That a powerless witch like yourself possesses a power that none can approach is what is truly terrifying. After all, you fended off the great witch, Lady Lambda Delta, as a lone piece. I only won an endurance contest. She simply got tired. That is not what Lady Lambda Delta said, though. Too much humility can be unseemly, Lady Berncastel. That girl has a dreadful power. The power to kill a person without fail. However, there is no such thing as without fail in this world. Just as, no matter how many times you divide 1, you can never make it 0. That girl has the power to bring that closer and closer to virtually 0 and give rise to a virtually absolute certainty. I hope I never have to fight such a terrifying witch again. However, you have a power that manifests without fail except for 0. Although you say that there is no such thing as without fail, in this world you possess an infallible power yourself. How very terrifying! The power to kill a person endlessly. That's another JoJo reference. I think you're the more terrifying one. Such jests. From your point of view, mine is but a trifling power. The phrase "flattery will get you nowhere" was made for this situation. Call it payment for my stay here. I am a fleeting traveler who crosses the fragments, continuously running from boredom. Kakera? Huh? Is that like Japanese word for fragments or something? Oh, funny. She has a cat tail. Interesting. Berncastel. I'm trying to remember if it rings any bells. Because like the whole game, there's no denying it's Dante's Inferno. So Beatrice's name is an obvious reference to Beatrice from Dante's Inferno. So I'm trying to think if the name Berncastel rings any bells. I don't think so. It sounds German, like something castle. But I'm not too well versed in German folklore, only German... No, I'm not well versed in German folklore, only in ancient Germanic mythology, so I got nothing. The Witch of Fragments, who has lived for 1,000 years. It is said that she lives in a world where concepts like fate and possibility can be made visible, observes the fate of humans, and sometimes interferes. In other words, sometimes she is you, and is also your only friend. Understand? Likes wine and spicy foods, hates boredom and those who never learn. I really wonder if she really is a JoJo reference, or if it's just a coincidence. Like, Umineko definitely came out after part 5 of JoJo, right? Because in part 5 of JoJo, there's also
a I'm stretching. I'm just one of those JoJo fans that claws at straws. I was about to say, oh, it's a JoJo reference because there's a character that can see the future, like, as if that's not the most extremely common power. Like, shut up. Who cares? Who am I? Anyways, I like her. Cool design. Her name ticks me off that I can't derive any meaning from it, though. I gotta study up. I simply came around because I've heard that you started something interesting. Rest assured, I will leave of my own accord as soon as you start to bore me. Also, okay, wait, I wasn't done. No, shut up. I don't care. No, why did I click? Get me out. Bro, okay. I was gonna check on her again. Okay, so it's interesting. It's a very interesting design. I like it. Okay, so with the cattail and the black dress and the purpley bluish motifs, I feel like it's supposed to invoke themes of a black cat. And with her power of seeing fate and futures, it kinda plays into the motif that black cats give you bad luck. You know, they create a bad fate for you, and she can see fate, so that's interesting. What else was I gonna say? Oh, the blank eyes. That's the blank eyes is what made me want to talk about her in the first place. I really like that. It's really clever. It's really smart because since she can see the future, it's like her eyes are gazing past you. They're gazing at something not currently present. So we cannot see her pupils. She's not currently like looking at anything in the current time because she can see the future. She can see fates. So I really like that her eyes are glazed like that. It's very clever. I just wanted to mention that, and then I also got the motifs of the black cat in there. So yeah, overall, very cool design. I like this a lot. I am deeply and humbly delighted to have the great lady Berncastel as an observer. And so, your impression? Lambda Delta is terrifying because of her cruelty. However, she was a girl I could understand. Lambda Delta is another name that doesn't ring any bells, but I will not go into it right now until we actually get to meet her. It doesn't sound German, at least. So, I'm a very... If there's a lot of witches, I hope they all follow this motif of like all of them being from different countries that are associated with witches, because Beatrice, Italian name, so that's from Italy. Berncastel, I am assuming it sounds German, so it's from German, another place that is very associated with witches. And Lambda Delta, I cannot... Let me think. It sounds so... It sounds so complicated. Lambda Delta. Okay, well... No. This actually, like, the biggest hint isn't her name. Delta is Greek, right? But, like, the Greeks... I know, they were, okay, no. Ancient Greece was associated with witches. Like, there's, Hecate, the goddess of witches. And there's Medea, like, the most famous witch in Greek mythology. The one that, wanted to marry Jason from the Argonauts. So maybe she's Greek. I would like that a lot. but I think I'm reaching there. I just said I wasn't gonna talk about her until we meet her. I like names. I think when creating a story, I'm just talking. I should move on. Let me finish my thought. I think when creating a story, names are the most important. I think names should always hold great significance. So I like the psyched in them. So I think Lambda Delta is Greek, and I like that a lot. If all witches are from different countries. I see the emojis. Nothing to say about that. You do seem to possess affection, but I can't understand you at all. That's why you're much more terrifying than her. It's either Greek or Latin. I forget, like, I know Delta is a Greek word, but I forget if they stole it from Latin. So she's either Greek or Latin. I am fickle by nature. Do forgive me. Besides, I believe you also enjoy trusting your fate to the roll of fickle dice. Is that not so, Lady Bernkastel? When I roll the dice, I have a roll I clearly want to get. Unlike you. You, on the other hand, anticipate all outcomes. And whatever the roll might be, you're never disappointed. Whatever roll the dice show you, you are satisfied without fail. In that sense, you far surpass me. You're the one I really don't want to fight with. Oh, I thought it was a different character. You're the one I really don't want to fight with. Inside of you, there's nothing but zero. That's why I can't win against you without my power. The worst matchup. Perhaps Lambda Delta, on the other hand, has a good matchup against you. Since she would likely be able to kill your endlessness. I'm also liking this a lot. Like, they're delving into mathological things right now, which I am not fond of, but I do think it's cool. Like, Bernkastel can see the future, which means she like always knows the right moves to make in a way, like comparing her to Diavola from JoJo again. So it's like she represents high probability because you know what's gonna happen. I don't know how to put this into words. It's so complicated. She represents numbers in a way. She is the countable. She is the countability of numbers. She can see. I don't know. I use the words of explaining. Anyways, it kind of makes sense in my head. Beatrice, she can kill people endlessly. Her thing is infinity. She represents infinity. She represents... Yeah, no, that makes sense. That was way easier to explain. She represents infinity. Bernkastel represents the countability of probability, which leads me to believe that Lambda Delta would represent... She would be the embodiment of... What's the plural word for random? Of randomicity. I don't know what the word is. She represents randomness. Lambda Delta's randomness. She is the... What's another way? She is on probability. She represents... I want to relate it to numbers again, but I'm not good with math, so I don't know the terms. She's like negative numbers in a way. She is the uncountable... Whatever. Like, if you know, you know. I think that's what they're going for here, with all the talk about ones and zeros and all that. So I think Bernkastel is probability, Lambda Delta is improbability, and Beatrice is infinity. There you go. That's the simplest way I could have said it. I should have said that from the start.
Truly, tea is the best drunk. Oh, truly, tea is best drunk in the company of a witch. It's never boring. Good to hear. Boredom is the sole prison that can kill me. So don't kill me, alright? Lady Beatrice, endless witch. If such is your wish, I shall allow you an even better time. I shall show you a better. I've been doing too much in yapping sessions. It's tiring my tongue, and now I'm messing up words. In that case, wouldn't it be best if I brought the next chessboard in right away? It seems that the next tale would do more for you than a refill of tea. Just wait for a moment. Something troublesome seems to have taken a liking to you. I'd really like to lend you my power, but as you just heard, the girl's power and mine have a very bad matchup.
Whoa, wait. I didn't notice the sprite change. She's talking to you, to me.
Something troublesome seems to have taken a liking to you. I'd really like to lend you my power, but as you just heard, that girl's power and mine have a very bad matchup, unfortunately for you.
It makes sense too. Like, you can't see the future. You can't move on. You can't keep counting if you're stuck on a number that is repeating endlessly. So like, if you want to go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but you just get stuck on 1, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. It makes sense that they would have a bad matchup. That's very clever. I like that a lot. This is fun. Oh my goodness, this is cool. So yeah, it would be real useful to have the power to read past the current page we're on, but obviously that would break everything. But we have the power of tuning into Sem's live streams when he's playing Umineko. But unfortunately, that can no longer happen. Very sad.
But you really are pitiful, so I'll help you out just a bit. First of all, about that girl. She does have an existence that goes by the name of Beatrice, but that doesn't necessarily mean that she is a woman with an individual body. Do you understand what I mean? In other words, she's not some human. Her existence is a personification of the rules of this world.
She's infinity.
To beat her, you have to expose the rules of this world and unravel them. This can be likened to learning the rules of chess by watching a few games. First, take a good look over the chessboard and notice the movements and rolls of the pieces. Then, look for the conditions required to win at her game. When you've managed to reveal all of these things, her heart will be exposed. After that, you can rip it apart or crush it as you please. I am being quite generous. Back when I was once human, it took me 100 years to realize even that much. This is my meager farewell gift to you, the pitiful one captured by Beto. It is like a single spoon. A spoon can be used for more than just drinking soup. You can use it to dig through the prison you've locked in, or as a weapon to gouge the witch's eyes out. Of course, you can also use a spoon to continuously sip the watery soup inside your eternal prison. Don't get the wrong idea. I have no intention of becoming your ally. I do feel empathy for you, but I won't help you. It's like someone sitting in front of the television cannot reach the characters on screen no matter how much they yell at them. That's how you can tell I am a witch, you see? I intend to enjoy the endless tales that Beto is going to wave until I tire of them. But I'm sure that alone won't hold my interest. That's why I'll lend you my power. It's also I don't get tired of this.
Okay, stop for a second. I just realized how right I was. Like, That's cool. Kind of. Okay, so two things I want to say. We're never finishing this game. Okay, first thing is that her whole speech just now about how she is an individual, that just leads more credence to my thought process that I think the servants are just part of Beatriz. Because of their... I even forgot what I even thought about that. Like their eye colors or their neckties or something I noticed about them that made me think that they were all little fragments of Beatriz. So her saying that she's not just an individual makes me believe that more. Second thing, the whole Beatriz being the embodiment of infinity and endlessness. I just realized how well that fits with my previous theory about how what Beatriz does is just create a cycle, a loop. It's like the family that Kinso belonged to, they all had a contract with Beatriz. Their contract came to an end, and so she took what was rightfully hers, which is all their lives. She burned everything down, she killed everyone, but left Kinso alive, so that Kinso could create a contract with her, and then it repeats with what we just saw, everything burning down, everything dying, everything going back to her, but leaving one person alive, which is probably going to be Butler, where he's going to make a deal with her, and then he's going to have his own family, his whole manor and all that, and the cycle repeats, and it's very likely that Kinso's family, the family of Kinso's family, also had a contract with Beatriz, and that all went down, yada yada. You understand here. Like, she wants to create a cycle of making a deal, making a humongous family, bringing them all down so that I can all restart again. So her whole shtick of being the embodiment of endlessness and infinity makes total sense to my theory that I had back then, so that feels cool. It's very clever. This whole... everything has been very clever. What? I wasn't even trying to rage bait right now. Did I say something wrong? What do you mean I can rage bait you? I wasn't doing nothing. I was just yapping. I am the cruelest witch in the world. I like that. I like that a lot. She is the cruelest. Not because she is actually cruel. She doesn't do anything bad. It's because she can see the future. She knows what's going to happen to us, but she won't tell us. She doesn't tell anyone what their future holds. And that is the cruelest thing you can do, because you could save them by telling them, but she doesn't, and that makes her the cruelest one. I like that. I like that. No matter who the opponent may be, I'll absolutely make them surrender. Even if that's Beatriz, the endless witch. You are my game piece. Give it your best shot. I'll give you advice sometime, out of her sight. Don't bore me, okay? I like her a lot. I like her a lot. That's a good character right there. I like her a lot. She's cool. She's cool. Thank you for your yapping. Please feed us some more. You're a sicko. You have damage in your head. Freak. That was me actually giggling. I wasn't reading Beatriz's giggles. There we go. The new episode. A new element? What do you mean? Caught. Ew! What is this? This is a massive stingray. Fish. Silver Trophy, Episode 1, Hidden Tea Party. Read to the end of the Episode 1, Hidden Tea Party. I do not like this background at all. This thing is staring at me and I don't like that. Okay, that's new. Sawed-off rifle, Kinsel spec, a sawed-off cut-barrel custom version of a certain rifle which was a popular bestseller during the Wild West. The modification dramatically increases the portability and old-school charm in exchange for a devastating drop in range. In addition, consecutive shots can be fired as quickly as a pistol if one works the lever action skillfully enough. Furthermore, the one-handed reload made possible by its characteristic lever handle would be irresistible for any true lover of old westerns. To match with Kinsel's personal preferences, it was made to handle 45 long Colt bullets. The gun holds 4+1 shots. The 7 Sticks of Purgatory. Sticks containing the 7 magics that represent the 7 deadly sins. They bury deep into the desired location of the target, with unparalleled accuracy following their user's orders. Since they fit about in ultra-high speeds and change their trajectories freely by bouncing off walls and the like, they have no blind spots and will hit their targets without fail, no matter what form of cover they might be hiding behind. Additionally, the power can be turned into the part of the body they will strike. Can be tuned to the... Extremely powerful as weapons, but they cannot target pure people who have not committed one of the 7 deadly sins, or those who have a strong resistance to magical power. I think what I said in the credits last stream, 4 months ago, I think I was completely right. I think I'm epic. Oh, cool. Spoilers? So cute. Oh! I thought this changed the whole page. But no, you select who to resurrect and who to kill. That's funny. Okay, this one does change everything. What do we kill her? That's so cool! It is futile for a human like yourself to dream of killing me. Even if you fire bullets at me, they will merely bounce back as though by a mirror and strike you down. However, there is one single way to kill me. You grasp this method in the palm of your hand. I doubt a mediocre fool like you could ever do it, of course. Okay, come back. Here you go. I don't want to kill her. Oh my gosh, she's looking at look at the eyes, look at her eyes, That's so cool. Ah, so neat. By continuing to think, I live on for all eternity. In other words, if I stop thinking, I can die at any time. However, I can revive whenever I want if I start thinking again. So I'm fickle and inconsistent. I live as I like, die as I like, revive as I like. Top three characters there. Natsuhi, Jessica, Barinka still. I like her a lot. She's cool. OMG, then maybe read episode 2 fast so the background changes. OMG. You're so right. Don't read it fast, but read it in rage bait. My bad, gang. Owned. So I assume none of these are things that I haven't read already. Yeah. Very well. I will take a little break. 5 minutes, maybe 10. Get me a snack, get me a drink, and we shall read a little bit of episode 2. So, BRB. Streamer, you're late. Alright. Oh, can remove this. Man, I ate food, drank juice, but forgot water. Ah, fine, I'll go get water. I'm back, I'm back. Stop complaining. So we are going anywhere. Alright. We gotta enjoy this because we know the next stream is not happening for 3 months. Alright, episode 2. No gifts, gabs, or no nothing. It's episode 2 time. That's crazy. I never thought the day would come. Let's see if I can read this cursive. Episode 2. Turn of the Golden Witch. What was the Legend of the Golden Witch? Turn of the Golden Witch. Good morning. The Golden Witch has been waiting impatiently for you. Please take your seat opposite her at the table. Have you rested well and deliberated over how you will play? The witch has high expectations of you, and it is determined to come at you right from the opening. I too am looking forward to observing your moves. The difficulty level is just right. That one I cannot rate at all. The witch plans to make you surrender in an instant. What does that say? The difficulty level is what? First rate. I see. Well, who's talking there? It's not Beatrice. This difficulty level is standard. What do you mean difficulty? There's no gameplay. I'm going to assume it's Bernkastel, but she doesn't talk like that. Maybe it's Lambda Delta. Actually, I have something to say about Lambda Delta, but let me check out the land first. Wait, what? Oh, there's different. Good morning, the Golden Reach. Wait. Yeah, this is different. Where did you get this from? Please do grant her that wish. Were you able to get a good rest and perfect your strategy? The witch expects a lot from you and is more than ready to launch an assault right from the start. I also look forward to seeing your strategy. The difficulty level is extreme. The witch doesn't make really. Wait. Where did you get this from? The gameplay is stinky. Different translation, I say. Well, going from first rate to extreme, it's quite different. Anyways, the other thing I wanted to say is about Lambda Delta. Whilst I was eating, I looked up the Greek alphabet, and it turned out I had completely forgotten that Lambda is also a Greek letter, as is Delta, which I already knew. So her name is just 2 Greek letters. So, there you go, confirmed, she is from Greek. So far, they have a good track record at each witch being from a different country, and I really like that. I hope they keep that up. Anyways, that's all. No more dilly-dallying. The story is undoubtedly nothing more than fantasy. It could not possibly have any relation to real persons, organizations, places, or events. Wait. That's the one we know in Better One? Wait. Better One? How do I do this? Has Ruby Tomato lied to me? I cannot say I'm surprised. Oh. Why did it get a Russian translation? Uh-oh. Oh, OBS isn't catching that. So this whole time you have made me play a lesser version? What if I have missed important information because of you? Should I have known everything by now, but I have been handicapped? What? We have a problem. No! My trophies! Like, nothing is actually lost because I could just unlock episode 2, but that's weird. Anyways, what's in Golden Land? Umineko has a new translation that tried to fix the OG Witch Hunt. It really is better in some sentence structures and whatnot, but it loses a lot of the OG language and catchphrases, therefore Witch Hunt better, and it don't matter too much. I see. But my trophies! Oh, never mind, we get them all back. Yay. We know. The Tea Party ones are not here. Ah, whatever. Okay, now we start episode 2 for real. No more dilly-dallying for the 3rd time I said this. Now I have to replay all of episode 1 so I can get the true experience. I really thought it was some grammar changes, but it does change a bit. What do you mean by that? What? Like what? Like what? Like what? Like what? Have you... Everything's ruined now.
George-sama, please look. They're so cute. Look.
Whoa, pretty. How do I remove... Crap, was it space? No. Shit. Oh, crap. Shut up, I don't need a tutorial. Loses the battler, it's all useless aura for, it's not good at all. Oh, that changed? Oh, thank goodness, I really didn't like that catchphrase at all. I always forget how to hide the text. Crap. Oh, it's escape. I always forget that it's escape. I just wanted to see her outfit. It's quite cute. Also, this guy, I'm like, oh my goodness, this outfit is cool. Anyways, I skipped like a bunch of dialogue trying to click random keys on my keyboard. I can tell you for a fact that you did not miss anything important in episode 1. Okay. Good. Shannon found a pair of hammerhead sharks swimming playfully in the tank, and looked as excited as a grade schooler seeing an aquarium for the first time. Yeah, they really are cute. Almost makes me want to eat them. What is wrong with him? This is your rage bait, Wonder Silver. Let her consume you, the endless witch of rage bait. Sam's terrified.
I feel so sorry for them. Did you know? I hear that Japanese are only people in the world who go to aquariums and say how delicious everything looks.
Is that so? I was sure even Americans and Italians would want to eat these. Those clothes look good on you. Really? Also, it was funny seeing Sam's reactions to different translations, so I guess my fun is over. No more rage. Shannon clutched at her chest with both hands in embarrassment. She apparently felt like she was being made fun of for wearing these clothes she wasn't used to. Is she stupid? Though George's face didn't show it, he has actually said something so completely unexpected that it surprised even him. And he was just as embarrassed as Shannon on the inside. I'm not gonna question what's happening right now. I'm just gonna let the tumbleweed tumble, as they say, for now. However, when he saw how embarrassed Shannon was, he started to imagine he was teasing a girl he liked. And instead of embarrassment, a ticklish amusement welled up in him. No, he wasn't just imagining it. He really was teasing the girl he liked. Before now, he wouldn't have expected to hear a line like that anywhere these days, not even in a manga or something. In fact, if he'd seen another couple acting like this, his first instinct would be to start throwing rocks at them. But even if someone were to start throwing rocks at us now, I'm sure they'll be no different than confetti celebrating our relationship. Now I can't even remember those lonely days, when I felt jealous of couples who were completely oblivious to their surroundings. To use an old-fashioned phrase, these really are rose-colored days I'm living in. I'm so entranced that I barely notice that massive tank in the world's largest aquarium anymore. Instead, all I see are the expressions flitting across Shanon's face as she plays with the fish. It's amazing, isn't it? It's my first time seeing a tank large enough for a whale to swim in. I heard this tank is the biggest selling point here, and that is the biggest in the whole world.
Is that so? That's amazing. It's really wonderful. It doesn't even look like a tank at all. More like they sliced up a part of the sea with a knife and brought it here.
You're right. This really is a little sea. Despite its size, I hadn't thought of the tank as anything more than a tank. That's why I found her metaphor so interesting. No matter how far humans broaden their experiences, they always end up viewing the world through the lenses of their own values. Maybe that's why it's so interesting to interact with people who have different worldviews. I voiced my thoughts on this. She responded.
True, this may not be the real sea, but if those little guys swimming in there believe it's the sea, then that's what it is. Little guys.
I enjoy that. Even though they're inside a finite tank.
The sea is finite too. Then again, even if the sea were infinite, how much could we throw in our whole lives, cover in our whole lives? I'm sure only a minuscule fraction of the sea.
You're right. It's ironic, isn't it? Even though the world is so vast, most of us humans live our lives without ever leaving our own country.
If the inhabitants of a place believe they're living in a complete world, then even the bottom of a narrow well can be a wonderful world, an entire ocean. At least to the frogs that live there.
Shannon, who spent her days as a servant of a small island of 10 kilometers in circumference called Ronkenjima, said that with a smile. Very on the nose, but I enjoy that. Turn of the Golden Witch. Ushiromiya Butler. Banger? I swear I've also heard the song before somewhere. Ushiromiya George, Ushiromiya Jessica, Ushiromiya Maria. Ushiromiya Kinso, Kraus, Natsu! Yes! 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 I have a reason to keep playing. Yes. Yeah. I'm so happy. Beatriz. Umineko no Nakukoro ni, Rondo of the Witch and Reasoning. Door of Summer. Oh, it's been so long since we heard this song. Months for this. Months. Get used to it, buddy. After we finished walking through the whole aquarium, we had a small late afternoon lunch at a restaurant with a nice view. This is so surreal. We acted like nothing happened. I miss this song a lot. just to see you realize that we indeed get more Natsuki. Like, I always thought so. I thought, like, I haven't seen too many characters. No, like, what I'm trying to say is that in what little I know of Umineko before playing, I had seen every character I met, like, one point or another. I haven't seen, like, other characters, so the other episodes being with a different protagonist with different characters, I just couldn't see that happening. So I really thought it was going to be a time loop story, so everyone would be back alive. But you know, what if it wasn't? So I was scared. But I had hope in my heart that she would return. After we finish walking, I'm so I'm so excited to read her lines again. After we finished walking through the whole aquarium, we had a small late afternoon lunch at the restaurant with a nice view. The word buffet has the power to make any boy's heart leap. I was like that myself once. But with the Shannon we're still George. But with Shannon beside me, this buffet felt different. I couldn't shamefully pile on only the things I liked. I was, how should I put it, worried about my appearance and chose a menu suited for a snob. Toast, salad, and coffee. If I had been by myself, I would have made a pile of oily stuff like yakisoba, mashed potatoes, gratin, and so on. Shannon, is that going to be enough for you? If it is, then I guess we men are animals with really bad fuel efficiency. Whoa, skip some. That's not what I, jeez. Anyways, the voices get louder. Oh, because I reset the game? Yeah. On Shannon's tray, there was only tea and salad. Maybe the mere fact that I thought she was a whole plate short proved I was thinking with a man's stomach.
Actually, I should be asking you the same thing. Don't you think men should eat a little more than that? I imagine you normally eat more for lunch, right?
Oh, right. Dang. Come to think of it, you already know how much I eat normally because of meals I've had at the head family household.
That's right. So I was worried you might have an upset stomach today.
Shannon was kind enough to guess that I wasn't feeling well. Looks like my stupid attempt to show off made her worry. And apparently my stomach wasn't going to let me show off any longer. Okay, I'll confess. I was just trying to look cool. I held back just because I was with a girl.
I thought so. Considering how much you eat during lunch at the family conferences, I thought this wasn't nearly enough. Please don't be so reserved and feel free to go choose another dish.
Is that fair for only me to be embarrassed? What about you, Shannon? How will you be able to keep up with the Ushinomiya family workload on such a sparse diet? Shannon fell silent and blushed bright red. Apparently I wasn't the only one showing off. When I realized that, my embarrassment disappeared completely. Oh, so that's not enough for you either, is it? Yeah, you usually eat a bit more than that for lunch.
A woman's stomach is made of magic, so this is enough.
So we've both been showing off to each other. Let's not hold back anymore, shall we? I smiled to show that I wouldn't make fun of her anymore and rose from my seat. After finally coming to Okinawa, it'll be a waste if we didn't eat some bitter melon. George God. After finally coming to Okinawa, it'll be a waste if we didn't eat some bitter lemon. I'll go get some fried bitter lemon or something. Shannon, come with me. Come on.
Yes.
To anyone watching us, we might seem like an incredibly charming and embarrassing couple. But it's only after becoming a couple that you realize. To us, this exchange of words is everything, our entire world. That's why, no matter how much everyone else stares at us with blank expressions, we never notice. Indeed, at this age, I finally understand the feelings of couples who want to endlessly flirt without any regard for their surroundings. As I returned with a plate piled up with fried food, Shannon arrived with a pretty cake. Oh, I just ate it, I'm gonna be hungry already. While laughing at our fake stoicism, we resumed our lunch. even though it's a restaurant with a view of the sea. It's so cloudy. Luckily, our window seats gave us a view of seaside scenery so grandiose that it extended even beyond our field of vision. However, because of the cloudy sky, we were only seeing a fraction of its usual beauty.
That's right. If it were clear, we'd doubtlessly see a deeper blue sea.
Yep. I bet you're already used to the sea around Rokkenjima, but the deep blue sea here would surely have been a sight to see. It's a real shame.
Oh, but no matter how blue the sea is at work, it might as well be great to me. But I'm not working today, so,
Apparently Shannon was doing her best to say an embarrassing line. But I didn't let her get off easy. So close. If only you'd said when watching the sea alone with you, George-sama, it looks deep blue no matter how gray it is. It'd have given you full marks and a prize.
I'm sorry.
Want to hear what the prize was?
If you don't mind telling me.
No, I won't tell you.
That's no fair.
When I was in elementary school, I was always the kid who got bullied. When everyone teased me, I grew nervous and speechless, to the delight of the bullies. Back then I wondered why everyone teased me. But now seeing Shannon like this, I understand why. This is so much fun. I can play with her emotions however I please, and I can have them all to myself. Right now, I can't think of any greater pleasure. That's why I have to go easy on her. It's not as though I want to make her feel embarrassed and upset, so I decided to be nice and change the subject. Best not to be too obstinate. When you finish your lunch, do you want to take a walk on the beach? Maybe the clouds will clear up, we'll get a beautiful view of the sea.
That's right. I want to go see it.
Yeah, let's do it. But that cake really does look delicious. Maybe I'll go get one of those too.
You mustn't. If you eat cake after eating so much lunch, you'll get fat. It looks like Hideyoshi-sama's blood is pretty thick in you, George-sama, so you get chubby if you don't take care.
Shannon, you won't stop liking me if I get fat, will you? After all, I wouldn't stop liking you if you got fat.
I didn't mean it that way. If you don't take good care of your body, it'll be bad for your health.
Mother warns me all the time too. I wonder if it'll have to take up Tai Chi Kwan or something like she does and get some exercise.
When going on a diet, it's better to start by rethinking your eating habits rather than just exercising all the time. Apparently, the exercise only helps if you're eating well first.
In other words, you're telling me to hold off on the cake, huh? And I guess I'll just have to gaze at you while you stuff your cheeks with it, Shannon.
A whole cake is probably too much. But maybe just half of one would be okay. Here, it's really delicious.
Shannon cut her own cake and tried to move half to my dessert plate. I had no doubt that she wanted to share the delicious cake's flavor with me. However, I meanly pulled my plate away from her. She blinked in surprise. She couldn't seem to figure out if I was refusing the cake or not. So I winked, opened my mouth, and said, "Ah."
So that's what you really wanted? You're such a pampered child, George-sama. Okay, say,
With a partly embarrassed, partly exasperated face, Shannon offered the cake to me with a fork. It tasted like a cheap chocolate cake you might find anywhere. Ew! That sucks. Couldn't it be a good cake? It's such a fancy place. Why couldn't... Whatever. I'm disappointed. I'm sad. And yet, it was exceptional. Because eating cake in such an embarrassing way, as if we were a couple of perfect fools, had been my dream for many years. It made this cake's flavor heavenly. If the earth is destined to end, I wouldn't have any regrets if it happened right now. It was such a moment of bliss. After that, we gathered shells, ran from waves, and enjoyed each other's company while walking along the beach. In the end, the clouds never parted. However, we both believed that the sea reflected in our eyes was a deep blue.
Somehow, I'm so happy that it scares me.
You do say that from time to time. What is it you're afraid of?
I'm a servant of the Ushiromiya family. For someone like me to be walking like this with a member of the family, I just felt like it was too much for me.
Wait, I had completely forgotten something. Crap! I'll read those two as well, but I need to check something. That we can finally see her sprite. We can see she does have blue eyes. Same eyes as Jessica. The same eyes as Jessica, which is weird. But the important part is the same eyes as Shannon and Kanun, which is what, like, the thing I was pointing towards in the previous streams. Interesting. Very interesting. I didn't click load. Oh, brother. There we go. Ushiromiya George, Eva and Hideyoshi's son, and a affable young man liked by everyone in the family. He is currently studying as an assistant for his father's company. It seems he dreams of making it on his own one day. The oldest of the 4 cousins, he acts as their leader and arbitrator. Shannon, a young but experienced servant. She's normally calm and performs her job flawlessly, but she messes up when she gets nervous. Furthermore, Shannon is nothing more than a pseudonym that she uses when on duty, not her real name.
For someone like me to be walking,
Yeah, I read that already.
it just felt like it was too much for me.
I'm not surprised. I didn't just meet you yesterday or today, Shannon-chan. We've known each other for years now. However, we can only meet during those family gatherings that only happen a few times a year. Back then, I couldn't even imagine having that sort of relationship where I could spend time with you like this. It was the same for you too, right?
I did imagine. No, I mean, maybe I should call it a kind of daydream. I did think about what it'd be like being in a relationship with you, a boy who was always so gentlemanly and considerate. Though it was only ever a fantastic daydream.
Then we must have your believing heart to thank for our relationship. Magic dwells in the power of love, so I'm sure that magic brought us together.
You're right. I really do think it was magic.
But you know, that's not actually true. As you keep looking more and more beautiful every year, you become a larger and larger presence in my mind too. If the same happened to you, then the fact that we're here today is simply an inevitable consequence rather than something caused by magic or a miracle.
No, a miracle did happen, George-sama.
She stopped walking down the beach, gazing out beyond the sea. A miracle?
No, it was magic. It happened.
I was bewildered by the slightly mysterious phrase which I sometimes heard her use. Magic, you say?
Yes, magic. I thought you'd believe me if I explained it, so I won't. But this bit of magic definitely had the power to grant the miracle that brought us together.
Are you talking about some kind of ritual?
Yeah, you might call it something like that. Except that it really was magic, not just some ritual.
Maybe it's all girls, not just Shannon, who tend to treat encounters as miracles or coincidences. For a man like me, an encounter with a girl is 70% hard work to try to make her like you, 20% courage, and 10% confidence. The part that means anything to her is a much smaller factor in my mind. Maybe that way of thinking itself is calculating and typical of men. But if I said that out loud, it might dissolve all kinds of magic. To my mind, there were lots of coincidences and compromises and expanded efforts on both sides before we gained the relationship we have today. At the culmination of all that, we get to spend this joyful time together. And if she wants to call that magic, I've got no objections to her choice of words. So I'll stand up for that magic. You're right. If the same fate were repeated 100 times, maybe you and I could get into a relationship like this only one of those times. In the other instances, even though we'd be aware of each other, maybe we would only maintain a reserved relationship after all this time. From the perspective of those other me's and you's, you and I are undoubtedly in a miraculous relationship right now.
That's not what he meant. It really was magic. No matter how often you tell men something like this, they'll never believe it. Kanan-kun didn't believe me at all either.
I believe you. I'd hate for the magic to fade away because I didn't believe in it.
George-sama.
In a small voice, I apologize for saying something that trivialized your magic. Shannon seemed to be glad to hear me say that. After all, if two people believe in the magic of love, it becomes eternal. Oh, that's right. I was wondering if you'd be willing to agree to a little whim of mine.
Yes? What is it?
You call me George-sama, right? It's not that I dislike it, but would you consider not calling me that anymore? Of course, you have to keep up your appearances with the Ushirima family, so I wouldn't force you to do something during your everyday routine on Rokkenjima. But when we're alone, I'd rather you didn't call me that. Yeah, let's make that a rule.
A rule? Well, what would happen if I violated that rule?
Maybe we should have some kind of punishment game if you break the rule. Yeah, what should it be? Wanna hear?
No, I don't want to hear.
I'll have to think about what it should be.
Okay, George, son.
Yeah, I love the way that sounds. I'm so happy. Shannon.
I also have another name. It's Sayo.
Wait. George already knew this. So this is a flashback. This is before the events of Rokkenjima. I see. The rule's gotta be fair after all. I'll follow it too. From now on, I'll call you Sayo. Okay. Sayo?
Yes.
I held her shoulder and drew her close. When I forcefully pulled her delicate body towards me, she dove into my chest like a doll. As I both looked at the horizon. What a deep blue sea. I'm so happy we got to look at the sea. Just the two of us.
Me too. I'm so glad we have a chance to look at this deep blue sea with you.
The knower. Like, it might have been obvious, I know. Like, now, thinking about it now, like, duh. But I just, it's a game with witches and magic, so I thought, like, maybe, like, a new timeline split and they got to survive, or... I don't know. I wanted confirmation of something before thinking anything. Like I said earlier, I was just letting the tumbleweed tumble. I wasn't thinking anything, letting the scene play out. And I got paid for it. I got an answer clear as day for my patience. That's what happens when you don't yap every 2 seconds. Where's my mouse? As we gaze at the gray sea and a light rain began to sprinkle down, We kept listening to each other's heartbeats. The sound of waves flowed in my ears. No, it's the sound of an enraged sea. My body, bathed in painfully cold splashes, does not allow me to forget. It won't let me forget the memories of the day my old fate was broken and smashed. Once, tomorrows were literally like looking into a mirror. All I ever saw there was the person I already was. Tomorrow was absolutely no different from today. That was my old fate. But then, for the first time, I saw a different fate beyond the mirror. The witch whispers to me. She tempts me to take a bite out of the fruit of knowledge. She torments me, saying I'll be furniture as long as I stay in God's paradise. So I decided to choose the path of knowing love and try to become a person. Those days were like sweet honey. But at the time, I didn't realize that they'd be the start of a new kind of suffering. I've arrived at a small island on a motorboat I've only just learned how to use. No, this could hardly be called a small island. It's little more than a rock jutting out of the water. On this rock is a torii and a small shrine. It was probably built to worship the guardian deity of Rokkenjima. Even though I don't know exactly what it signifies, I know it has to be something holy. Even in a place like this, I've got to take just one more look around to see if there's anyone who might get mad at me for coming. I see nothing but the stormy ocean, Mijima looming in the distance, and the waves breaking against Rokkenjima's steep cliffside. I ready myself, timidly approach the small shrine, and take the mirror that lies there as an offering. The mirror looks old, cloudy and dirty. That would probably make any normal mirror seem horribly cheap. However, since the mirror has been placed in the small shrine, its appearance seems to give some sort of divine quality to it. And there's one thing I can tell. This is no simple mirror. It may seem like an old, battered mirror to a non-believer like myself, but it has a great significance. Is it really okay to break this after being captivated by honeyed words? No, this isn't really a mirror. This is the life I couldn't escape until today. My fate. I'll break it. I'll smash it, and seize the life that lies beyond this mirror. If I don't smash it, my life would be a pair of facing mirrors forever. Nothing will ever change in the slightest. The witch whispers to me. She tempts me to take a bite of the fruit of knowledge. Or maybe I've already tested of that fruit. After all, I've already experienced those maddening emotions, just as Adam and Eve felt compelled to pluck their fig leaves. I can no longer go on without breaking this mirror. I've struggled with conflicting emotions for many days before this moment. Inside my heart, the virtuous part of me kept on fighting the part that sides with the witch. And now here I am. Did the part of me that's here right now win or lose? There's only one thing I know. To obtain something, you must be ready to lose something. Cowards who don't risk anything, who never try to change anything, would never be given the key that opens the path to a new future. That key is already in my hands. And that key is to break this. To smash it. Is there any other effort I can make as furniture of President Rokkenjima? No. This is the only way for me. Come. Have courage. I'll free myself from being mere furniture. And by accepting a new kind of suffering, I'll become human. This is surely a small, yet large trial I must impose on myself. Now, break it. I'll smash to pieces the eternally unchanging fate that imprisons me. I'll rise the mirror high. I'll think back on the days of conflict that came before. And finishing my reflections in the blink of an eye, I throw it down.
thunder roars, crying out against me for my outrageous act. It truly is the hatred of angels trying to banish me from eternal paradise. I look down at the mirror, tumbling on my feet, broken in 2 equal parts. And after making sure I accomplish my task, I scream up at the raging skies. I've kept my promise. Now, it's your turn to keep yours, right? Thunder roars once more. I've already been banished from paradise, so I have to struggle on my own if I want to live. The witch told me that is a single element of this world. To lose it means losing the world. Like how a canteen with a hole in the bottom can't be filled no matter how much water you pump into it. I've kept my promise. Now, it's your turn to keep yours. Beatrice-sama!
Interesting. It was relatively the same, but I had a lot of new scenes. But something I did notice is that the shot near the end that shows the front of the manor, all lights are off except for 2. I wonder if that represents Beatrice and Butler. But I've been quiet because I was just thinking of the scene with Shannon in the mirror. It was really pretty. I liked it a lot. That was really fun to read. But we're just thinking on it. 1 second. It was just a really pretty scene. I liked it a lot. That was really nice. Like that whole scene is gonna make me like Shannon. Yeah, I'm using the excuse of trying to find more meaning into it just to keep thinking about it. There's nothing else to derive from it. It was what it was saying, it was obvious, and I like what it said. Let's move on. My mind wandered back to the days when I could barely imagine the happiness I have now.
I was a middle schooler at the time, a normal girl who thought about love as much as you expect of someone at that age. But in truth, it was wrong of me to have that dream. After all, I am furniture. Furniture is nothing more than a tool, not a human. As a person less than human, simply receiving an education was an enormous blessing. So in reality, even thinking about falling in love was more than I deserved. The Ushiriya family conference was a customary event held every October. But relatives sometimes visited at other times. Of course, they didn't come just to drink tea.
Okay, so the whole thing so far seems to be a prequel. That is like the one thing I didn't assume. I was assuming new characters, only one survivor, or time loop. But now it's not a time loop, it's just that we're seeing the past. So Natsuhi's still dead. Whatever. I don't know. It's interesting, I guess. I don't know. It's interesting to see the past, you know? There's so many things hidden in the past, but so many of the things that made me like the characters are things that happened during the thunderstorm, the typhoon. So it's like I'm looking at worse versions of the characters I really liked. So I'm going into this with low expectations. We'll see.
On this day, Eva's family was visiting the head family of Rokkenjima. The 3 members of Krause's family and the 3 members of Eva's family had gathered in the parlor. They were having a friendly chat about recent events. Genji had supposedly told Kinso of Eva's family's arrival, but he still hadn't come down. He was probably immersed in his research and couldn't spare the time. This often happened, so the others waited patiently for their fickle father to arrive.
Crap, what was your voice? It was just like very haughty, gaudy. And then Rudolph's voice was just rough.
Oh, how promising. Make sure you work hard under your father, building the skills you'll need if you want to lend him a hand soon.
Thank you very much. I've learned countless precious things from the many experienced people Father has introduced me to. And these were all things I could never have learned in school.
When you're in school, it's not math and language you're learning, but they're really teaching you in the right outlook and attitude for learning more. Once you've got that base, you can finally start a long period of study that will last your entire life. People who don't get this end up spending their whole lives as fools who never learn. Just getting full marks in math and language won't do you any good at your company. Indeed, that is exactly right. Hideyoshi-san, your style of education never fails to impress. George isn't quite a full man yet. He'll always keep that in mind and embrace his studies.
Stop it, dear. George is always giving it his all, right?
I'm hiding under my kimono.
I missed her so much. No, I don't have it. I don't have it in me to do her voice. I don't deserve to. She's so cool. I like her. Okay.
Truly admirable. I wish Jessica would learn from him. Are you still holding a grudge about the test score? I'm studying for the test the best I can. At least don't say it here. Pissing me off.
Once people started praising George for his diligence, the conversation usually turned to Jessica, who hated studying. Jessica made an openly displeased face as though she'd known this would happen.
My. Schoolwork aside, it seems Jessica had better learn to choose her words a little more gracefully. How improper for the single daughter who bears the weight of the Ushiramiya family crest.
Come now, she's quite appealing in her own way, isn't she? Times change. The time when we had to act all modest to entertain men ended long ago. That's right, that's right. I know you understand, Oneva.
I'm good, I'm good.
My headache is truly trying today.
Are you okay? Oh, Natsuki, you're looking a bit pale.
Thank you. I am fine. Still, time really has flown. It feels like just yesterday when you would run around half naked by the beach and come back soaked. Wasn't your Jessica-chan the same? And now she's a lady who fusses over how to put on makeup. I see you focus on your eyebrows. You look really cute today. Thank you very much. No one noticed, so I was a bit unsure myself.
A full smile rose to Jessica's face as the results of her own studies were finally appreciated. Eva smiled back in the same way. Then she turned the smile towards Natsuki.
Come on, Natsuni-san. You must take notice of small changes in your own child. Poor Jessica-chan. You probably wanted your mother to notice first, didn't you? No problem, no problem. That person never notices anything.
Jessica, I cannot condone you speaking of your mother in such a fashion. Apologize.
Later, I will speak to you at length about your language. If you don't want kids getting in your way, just say so. I'm gonna take a step outside. It's getting stuffy in here.
Jessica! Jessica was still at the age where tests and entrance exams were pretty nerve-wracking. Recently, she clashed often with her mother, who was enthusiastic about her education.
I missed her so much.
Not Shonon, I'm sorry. I was still talking to Natsuki.
I missed her. It sucks that her whole development with her daughter is lost now. That really ticks me off hardcore. But I'll have faith. I have faith in Ruby Tomato. He will not let me astray. Everything will be as it should be soon. I'm just glad I get to read her dialogue again. Hi, Orion Ember. You finished episode 1? Well, I finished episode... Well, I guess... Okay, I finished episode 1 last stream, but this stream I finished the 2 tea parties, which now officially have finished episode 1, yes. You mean Beatrice and Baron Castel? Yes, indeed. Loves Natsuhi. Umi foolishly eating good. It's just... I'm not normal about her. She's everything. I am insane. So, what do you think of the lovely, beautiful, amazing witch that is my favorite character in Umineko? Best media talk character? What are you talking about, really? Anyways, Beatrice, I mean, she was a very imposing force, and I liked her, of course, but she didn't get enough time to shine yet. So, no opinions. I'm just letting the tumbleweed tumble, as they say. I cannot say I like her or hate her. I just think she is a very cool character. Everything according to plan. Excuse me. Jessica was trying to leave the parlor in a bad mood, bumped into Shannon, who was pushing a serving cart filled with tea. Shannon, no need to worry about my tea. I'm just gonna go wander around the garden. Milady. Shannon, the tea is getting cold. Serve it quickly. My apologies. My apologies. Shannon hadn't actually done anything wrong, but Natsuhi felt like something shameful to herself had been shown, lashed out at her emotionally. This was something that often happened in the Ushiramiya family, but it seemed Shannon wasn't strong-willed enough to just accept it and move on.
She shrank back and cowered while serving the tea. She had the unfortunate habit of making more mistakes when she cowered. Her pitiful appearance ruined the peaceful atmosphere that had existed a moment before. It wasn't really Shannon's fault, but she thought she might be the source and felt a presence on her chest. Her shaking fingers made the utensils clang, and you couldn't have called it graceful, not even just to be polite. The more pitiful she appeared, the greater the silence grew. The more irritated Natsuhi looked, and the more Shannon cowered. Shannon's thin neck felt like it was being suffocated and choked by the reaper known as stress. At that time, George spoke brightly, blowing away the stiff atmosphere. This smells nice. What kind of black tea is it?
This is...
No, don't say it. I'll guess. It's a very distinctive smell, so I probably know it. Is it Earl Grey?
I think it probably is.
Yeah, I'll bet it's Earl Grey. When you get back to the kitchen, check the tin.
Oh, George-kun, you know a lot about black tea, don't you?
One of the company presidents who's looked after me was very knowledgeable about black tea. I managed to pick up a little while listening to him discuss the subject.
Oh yeah, the president of Okonogi Foods. Yep, that's the sort of trivia. That sort of trivia is this guy's specialty.
The name of black teas often refers to the places they're made, right? So, did this come from a place with that name?
From what I've heard, this was a person called Earl Grey in England long ago, and it was named after him. Furthermore, this distinctive smell doesn't come from tea leaves, but from a fruit called bergamot, which is a relative of the mandarin orange.
Is that so? I never knew that. Learning things like that makes tea taste all the more delicious.
Same goes for the alcohol and cigarettes. Luxury items have a taste for romance. Knowing stuff like this deepens the taste.
It's the same as reading the list of benefits on a medicine bottle. Natsui-san, you should try reading the explanation on your favorite headache medicine someday.
That's a wonderful idea. Try it tonight.
Yes, I'll do so. I still love her, but I'm just like, she is a relatively worse character when this buffoon Kraus is around. I need him to die again already, so she can shine again. Shannon-chan, try opening that pot. You should find some dried bergamot mixed in with the tea leaves.
Huh, yes, it's in there. Something like dried orange peel was mixed in.
Yes, that's probably bergamot, the main ingredient in Earl Grey's scent. The scent is vivid, so you might expect the taste to be intense, but it's still gentle and easy to drink. If you make it with milk, the scent should become more mild, which works great. If there's anything left in the pot after you've poured for everyone, you really should try drinking it with milk.
Yes. Thank you very much.
George gave her a small wink. Shannon finally realized that George had kind-heartedly swept aside the tense atmosphere in the room, and he had done it for the sake of Shannon herself, a cowering servant. The Ushiramiya's family did not pamper their servants, and a display of awkwardness would be harshly punished, so it was rare for them to be given a helpful hand like this. Thanks to George's kindness, Shannon managed to regain control of herself and finish serving tea without further incident. As long as she stayed calm, she could carry out her work elegantly and flawlessly. By the time the black tea was laid out on the table and its elegant scent filled the room, the atmosphere had completely returned to its former peaceful mood, and everyone praised George's knowledge. Shannon wanted to thank him for saving her, but it didn't look like she would get the chance. So she decided to at least thank him inside her heart, praying to God that George would hear it as she pushed the serving cart away. Cage? Deltarune reference?
George-san always lends a helping hand at times like that, by changing the topic or something.
Shannon and Jessica were in the rose garden. Jessica still hadn't returned to the parlor after getting into a fight with her mother and was nonchalantly killing time here.
When I think back on it, I get the feeling that this wasn't the first time he's helped me like that. Whenever I made a careless mistake and George was around, I'm pretty sure he always naturally smoothed things over and restored harmony. Maybe it wasn't something as direct as picking up a fork that had been dropped. But that was his way of caring. Even servants have their pride. They want to fix their own mistakes by themselves. And if a guest lends them a hand, they'll lose face. He's really good at reading between the lines when stuff like that happens. Well, I guess it's kind of like an art to him. That guy's more of a show-off than he looks. That's not true. I think he's a really wonderful person.
Shannon, you haven't fallen in love with George Nissan, have you? For once, Shannon had disagreed with Jessica in a slightly forceful tone, which immediately caught Jessica's attention.
No, that's not it. I think...
Come to think of it, I've hardly heard any stories about George Nissan's and love. I think I remember hearing him say that family-oriented girls were his type, didn't I? Sweet, I think that fits you perfectly, Shannon.
It does? I don't. I am not, suitable for such a thing.
Not suitable? Like hell you aren't. You've known him so long, you're practically a childhood friend. They say that when you start from a natural relationship, where you don't think of the other as a member of the opposite sex, things start to move pretty fast once you finally start thinking about it. There's no doubt. Jessica loved teen magazines with that kind of story, and she was always getting excited talking about that kind of thing with her friends. She was very quick to pick up on love stories like this. So this wasn't the first time Shannon had been exposed to this kind of story. But this certainty was the first time she had started thinking of George as a member of the opposite sex. She was furniture, while George was an honored guest and a member of the Ushinomiya family. Until now, she'd assumed that even imagining any deeper relationship with him would be impermissible. So she hadn't thought of it. Since it was someone else's problem, Jessica poked fun at it, seeming to enjoy herself. It was all Shannon could do to hide her blushing cheeks. If George were to appear at a time like that, she'd have no chance of keeping her cool. They saw George come out from the entrance hall of the mansion. It looked like he'd seen them as well. He headed over waving his hand. Shannon had to practically try to regain her ordinary composure before George reached them. Grandfather finally came down. Now they're having an adult discussion, so they chased me out. Oh, come on! I would love to read more Kinso lines. Escaping that then was the right choice.
It'll be better to kiss the angel of death than look at grandfather's face.
You shouldn't speak that way. But you know, I think grandfather might think of us as angels of death. Don't do it, Shannon. Not a spoiler, I just dislike George personally. Don't do it, grandpa. Though, that interjection makes it so much funny. I mean, he's kind of a nothing burger to me so far. He's the exposition guy. I have no thoughts about him. After all, we came here to talk about borrowing money for business reasons. This chattering, really? Oh my gosh. I see no reason to dislike George. I see no reason to like him, but no reason to dislike. What does he do? That's right, this wasn't the customary annual October family conference. Eva's family had visited to apply for a business loan from the head family. Kinso had vast resources and he lent those out to his children. Of course, they didn't borrow money because they were living in poverty. How would they expand their business with the vast sums they wanted to borrow? How much interest would be attached and how long would they have to repay it? This wasn't the sort of loan designed for the poor. It was a loan for those who were on the offensive. Kinso strictly judged whether it would be worth lending out his fortune, and afterwards he strictly oversaw its use. So Rongenshima would sometimes play host to this spectacle where relatives visited and described their businesses to Kinso. No personality, in episode 1 at least, when he proposed. He's 24 and she's 16, and they were dating for 2 years at that point. I didn't know that. Okay, so there's one thing I have known before I played, that everyone called George a pedophile. And I was waiting for like, okay, what happens? I didn't know that it had already happened. I see. Yeah, that's pretty egregious. Yeah, I see now. Nothing very good, blended sign, thumbs down. Yeah, that I agree with. Yeah, I already thought that. That's crazy though. I thought Ruby was George's #1 fan. Maybe I'm confusing him with Yules. But to Jessica, who lived on this isolated island called Rokkenjima, it was a precious opportunity to meet up with her cousins. So being able to talk with the occasional guest such as George like this immediately cured the bad mood she got from the fight with her mother. My family's totally stingy too. They probably got money to spare, so why not lend it out graciously? Dad and grandfather will probably get pig-headed and act all important. It's natural to be prudent when lending money. Of course, my father will use what he borrows to expand his business, and he came with a plan that promises a solid probability of repayment. Everything else is left up to the presentation. But I really wish I could watch from the corner and learn. Mother chased me out. I'm a little let down. It seems the master still tends to scold Kraus-sama and Eva-sama as if they were kids. Wait. Chat room. So, like Ruby just said, we glazed Battler. But didn't Battler do some things early on with his hands? We defending that? Now that I know her age? Are we gonna glaze over that? What is the chat room's response to this? Wonder Silver's rage baiting. We shall move on. I got what I wanted. It seems the master still tends to scold Kraus-sama and Eva-sama as if they were kids. I'm sure she didn't want to let her son see that. As Shannon hung her head, she thought back on the scene familiar to those who worked in the mansion. Even Kraus, who acted haughtily towards his siblings, was still treated like a child by Kinso. Please be patient with him. We'll see. I trust in the Ruby Tomato. Shannon herself had often seen Kinso slap Kraus and tell him to sit up straight. It was probably very embarrassing to be coarse like that at his age. Taking care to avoid being present at times like that was one of the important responsibilities held by the servants working here. However, the fact that Shannon had ended up witnessing such a scene meant that she messed up at least once in the past. Yes, I imagine so. Maybe figuring that out and staying away is part of a child's duty. Huh? That aside, the flowers in this garden are truly splendid this year. George stretched as he said that, as he smoothly changed the subject away from one that was a little gloomy. This time Shannon noticed it too. This person George could sensitively figure out the situation and always change the subject to something harmonious out of kindness. It was so smooth that Shannon hadn't noticed it until today. Today Shannon really had to admire the way George did that. Of the boys close to Shannon age that she known, nearly all have been classmates during her period of mandatory education. But they had all been young and not have possessed the composure George had. Mere moments ago, he'd just been another guest. But right now, she couldn't help but think of him as something more. However, such thoughts were mere distraction of... It's just really funny that we were just talking about that and she mentions boys her age. Yeah. Shannon tried to chase them away with a small shake of her head. What's up?
No, it's nothing. Shall I make some tea? I will prepare some more of that Earl Grey.
So you remember the name of the tea? I'm glad.
Thank you for your concern back then.
Shannon was finally able to put her gratitude into words. If you wrote it out, it wouldn't be very long. But Shannon had needed a little spark of courage to say it out loud. But George played dumb. What do you mean? I don't remember doing anything I should be thanked for. He seemed to be playing the gentleman in his own way, letting her know he wasn't doing it out of desire for gratitude. George's response seemed to be more or less exactly what Jessica had predicted. She couldn't help but burst out laughing. See? Isn't he a bit of a show-off at times like these?
No, that's not...
Jessica poked fun at Shannon as the latter remained silent, red-faced. George didn't know the details, but he naturally joined in laughing the same way. 1 second, let me check something. Back. The three of them lazily walked around the garden, catching up on recent events. George, as the oldest cousin, talked about his life experiences. Jessica talked about recent life on Rokkenjima, and Shannon talked about her recent work. They kept on going on about these trivial things. Even when Shannon heard the others talk about deeply interesting things, she never felt any particular interest in the actual content of their stories. She was nothing more than a servant, and she had no intention of delving into her master's lives. She simply wanted them to enjoy their time speaking with her, and would only pretend to listen intently and nod at the right moments. But for some reason, the things George talked about today seemed to catch her interest powerfully. Even things she normally ignored felt like they contained a trace of kindness behind the words. For some reason, she wanted to know more things about George, no matter how trivial. So, she stared fixedly at him. She thought that as far as looks went, that this Ushinomiya George was probably about average and didn't stick out in any particular way. That's what we were just saying. But he was still diligent, serious, and had a deep prudence which allowed him to understand people's hearts and show concern. But she never noticed these things before now. She may not have met him many times, but she'd known his face for many years. Even so, she hadn't noticed once until now. Shannon, embarrassed by her own obliviousness, blushed. George, perhaps thinking that Shannon would listen intently to his stories, kept talking happily at length about things he'd done and seen. But Jessica didn't miss that slight change in Shannon. Hiccups. So she decided to change this conversation to the topic she was sure Shannon was more interested in. Oh yeah! Come to think of it, George son, have you finally gotten a girlfriend or what? Where did that come from? Normally that reaction would have been answer enough. But for some reason, as she was now, Shannon wouldn't be able to understand it unless he said it clearly.
George-sama is very nice. So I'm sure, he's very popular.
Well, quit it, Shannon. Isn't cornering him like that actually pretty mean?
I wasn't trying to be mean.
Well, I'm flattered that you have that mistaken impression of me.
But unfortunately, I still haven't had a relationship with any particular girl. After all, my looks are below average, as you can see. And I can speak tactfully in a way that can entertain a girl.
I don't think that's true. And I think a man's charm is decided by something that can't be measured by his appearance. That's why, I think you might be considered a very attractive man, George-sama.
Shannon was being uncharacteristically verbose. She hardly ever spoke at such length. George seemed fairly pleased to hear someone applaud his charm like this, but he was just a little surprised at this sudden high praise. Jessica, now sure her guess was spot on, appeared to be barely holding back laughter. Thank you, Shannon-chan. I hope I do bump into a girl who's generous enough to feel attracted to me before long.
Yes, I'm sure you'll run into one. I'm sure there's at least one. No, a lot of girls who will recognize your real charm.
She probably wanted to say that there was at least one girl very close to him. Shannon avoided saying that much, drawing a final line as a servant. Really? I guess I'm kind of embarrassed. He had probably never been praised this heavily by a girl before. George's face turned just as bright red as Shannon's. As she watched the two of them, Jessica giggled sadistically.
Well, I'm sure you'll eventually bump into a wonderful partner, George-san. But I doubt you'll be able to properly escort your partner as you are now, right? It looks like you're diligent, but you're completely abandoned your study of that.
Sorry about that. I'll start studying that bit by bit.
And how do you plan to do that all by yourself? Are you gonna watch romance movies or something? Or are you gonna learn from Uncle Hideyoshi?
Well, you're acting pretty triumphant.
Men are no match for girls when it comes to this sort of thing. Normally when George and Jessica got together, their parents would say George is diligent and admirable and Jessica is lazy and rude. So it was probably unbearable fun for Jessica to have her roles finally reversed. George realized this as well, so he resigned himself to being the one getting teased for once.
So, George-san, as long as you're okay with it, why not practice a bit with Shannon? It'll be your job to keep Shannon entertained all day long on a date. What do you think? What are you... Milady?
When she heard Jessica's audacious plan, Shannon's face turned bright red with a poof, and a donut of smoke started to rise from her head.
That's a very tempting plan, but I wouldn't want to burden Shannon-chan.
I'll just end up wasting one of her precious days off, wouldn't it? I'll be butting in on that sacred time that she should be spending alone with someone she really likes. I couldn't do something so boorish.
I don't have a person I have feelings for or anything, there's no need to hold back for my sake.
Shannon's blood had all rushed to her head, and it looked like even she didn't know what she was babbling about. Jessica, who knew how Shannon normally was, seemed to be finding this hilarious. She couldn't hide her cackling laughter anymore.
Is that true? I can't believe a cute girl like you would be single, Shannon-chan.
I am a servant, so, of course, I don't have any relationships with boys, which means that if Shannon ever wants a chance of getting herself a wonderful guy, she needs practice with relationships too, right? So you both want the same thing. Sweet, that'll be perfect.
Jessica irresponsibly cheered the two of them on, but now even George was hanging his head and turning red. George, I've been calling to you for a while now. Didn't you hear me? When Eva appeared in what was already an embarrassing situation, both of them got even more flustered. Jessica watched and laughed loudly. Mother! Sorry, I was just so engrossed in the conversation. I didn't notice.
Oh, Eva-sama, you have my deepest apologies.
It looks like you two young kids are getting really fired up together. You're all about that age. Oh, I know how kids your age can talk about that sort of thing forever. Oh, come on. You're so young yourself, Eva.
Please tell us how you and Uncle Hideyoshi met. Oh my, there's no way I could say that. You all really are so young.
So, what is it, Mother? You called because you wanted something, right?
Your father and the rest are finished talking. We're going to talk to grandfather about you, so come on.
About me? What could that be?
The same thing you were all talking about just now. You know what I mean, right?
Oh, that. That isn't really something we need to talk about, grandfather. That isn't really something we need to talk to grandfather about, right?
What's going on? Wait, George-san, are you getting married? Congratulations!
No. Didn't I just say I didn't have a particular woman I was interested in?
That isn't something to brag about, is it? Good grief.
Eva smiled bitterly, looking a little exasperated.
Oh, I get it. George-san, it's one of those, right? And Omiyai, a marriage meeting. A marriage meeting, you say?
Well, yeah. Surely as a man, George wanted to find a partner by himself and bring her home with him. Though it seemed he thought it a bit pathetic to meet his partner for the first time in a marriage meeting arranged by his parents. Shouldn't marriage meetings be done at a more mature age? I still don't feel like I've become a full-fledged adult.
Of course, we have no desire to rush into immediate engagement or marriage, right? There's nothing wrong with this dipping in your friendship first and then having her move to our family register after you've gotten older and settled down.
Judging by Eva's forceful attitude and George's committal one, the others could catch a glimpse of the story behind this marriage meeting. They didn't know who George was supposed to be meeting, but it was surely someone who would profit Eva's family in a business sense. The very fact that he'd be satisfied with a mere engagement to deepen the relationship between the two families rather than immediate marriage made it feel almost like a political maneuver.
You see, marriage isn't something you should enter into only after you start liking someone. You marry first, and then you adjust. If you marry based purely on emotions, you'll always end up regretting it. There's certainly nothing wrong with choosing a person with a secure background for your partner in life, and then developing... I skipped it. I accidentally crap. And then deepening your affection later. Haneva, isn't that kind of rude to Uncle Hideyoshi? I love that man. I want to always be with him and to live my life by his side. Heva-sama, that's wonderful. Truly splendid. Thank you. But we built up those feelings while we were husband and wife, you see. And I believe that in the future, we will be much, much closer than we are now. I think that's what's best for a married couple.
Still, I don't think you can use that to argue that it's okay to marry someone you don't even like.
But it doesn't mean that it's okay to marry anyone as long as you like them. It only takes an instant to get married, but your life as a married couple would last a long, long time after that. So you should research with prudence and avoid making decisions based on momentary emotions. Don't you think a matter like this would be better handled by us rather than a person lacking in life experience such as yourself?
That may be true, but...
I'm proud of you, my only son. You've grown magnificently, and I'm sure you'll do us proud no matter where you go. And now that Butler-kun has left the family register, you, as father's only male grandchild carrying his blood, we must prudently choose a fitting partner for you.
As everyone related to the Ushiramiya family knew, Eva adored George immensely, but that didn't mean she had pampered him. She had been strict with him and had raised him into a wonderful boy who wouldn't betray her expectations. That was why she treasured him so.
Your partner certainly won't be selected based on your parents' profit and loss. I'll bring you a suitable and truly wonderful woman. At this moment, your immaturity might make this seem unpleasant to you. But if you're going to take my advice on anything, listen to me now. Have I ever failed to act at your best interest?
No, you haven't.
That's enough now. So, let's go. We're keeping father waiting. Hurry to the mansion.
Well, sorry you two. See you later. George bowed to the two of them, and after bowing once more to Shannon, he dashed off to the mansion.
I'll be going with him. Forgive me for interrupting such an entertaining conversation, Jessica-chan. Shannon-chan. No, please don't worry about it. Come on, Shonen. Let's go. Yes. It's okay. I'm sure you'll meet someone wonderful soon too, Jessica-chan. A wonderful person suited for you. So if he's at the same level... Oh. So if he's at the same level as me? You mean a guy with shit grades? That kind of pisses me off. And of course you too, Shannon-chan. I'm sure that a wonderful man suitable for you will appear. Yes. Thank you very much. As Eva giggled and smiled, she approached Shannon's ear with a hand over her mouth as though she was trying to tell her a secret. Huh? I'm sure you'll find a perfect match for a lowly servant like yourself. Have you forgotten to be grateful for your education? Know your place. That's not what I meant. George is the eldest grandson carrying father's blood. He's a person who may bear the burden of the Ushiramiya family someday in the future. To answer to that expectation, he has studied tirelessly, entered a wonderful college, and is getting wonderful grades. Did you really think you could snatch George away, you uneducated, incompetent, unqualified, uncultured servant? Those malicious words all poured into Shannon's ear without spilling a drop. To Shannon, it was like cold water was being poured in there. I didn't mean... This was all whispered to Shannon in secret, and with the same smile as before. Jessica, who could only see Eva's expression, didn't think it was anything other than Eva telling Shannon some embarrassing story about love. When their secret conversation ended, Eva patted Shannon's shoulders as though she was urging her on. Don't worry. I'm sure you'll find a perfect match for a partner, right? Okay, Jessica-chan. See you later. Yeah, see you later. And make sure you tell me about you and Uncle Hideyoshi next time. No way. Eva laughed loudly and headed back to the entrance hall. Behind Jessica, who was cheerfully waving her hand, Shannon reflected very, very deeply on those words of Eva about knowing her place. If there was a way for me to make a tier list of the characters without spoilers, I would want to do it so bad. Like, okay. Natsuhi and Jessica at the top. Okay, Natsuhi, Jessica, top tier. Eva and Bernkastel, second tier. Maria and Butler, third tier. Everyone else in the last tier. I think that's what I would do. Yeah. That moment when another favorite character of yours, Eva, starts saying crap like this about marriage. Like, come on, bestie. She's so gross, affectionate. Yes, this is my girl. And I love Natsuhi. She's my favorite character, right? So the fact that they have a rivalry makes me love Eva so much. They are perfect. But I'm afraid I now have some bad news, chat room. This is where we part ways for another 2 months. I must stop now. My voice is giving out. So, great comeback stream. Great comeback stream. That was great. We've officially finished episode 1. We met Beatrice. We met a future favorite character, Vern Castell. Natsuhi's back. Although, it's not the version of Natsuhi that I love. I'm a bit sad about that. We'll see. Episode 2 has been interesting. I don't know. It's been interesting. It hasn't captured my attention yet because
I don't really care for a prequel, but obviously interesting things are gonna happen. There's just a slow burn. So this is good. This is good. This allows me to return to E33, so I'm good with this. But yes, see you all next time. Farewell to all. Good stream. Thank you for watching. Oh, always extremely fun to have you all here. You're all a bunch of creatures, and I enjoy observing you all from this little jar that I call the chat. Very fun. Don't cry on Saw. Okay. I wish I could say I promise, but I do really will try more to stream more often. No, I guarantee before the month ends, we will have another stream. But that is all for now. Okay, before we stop stream, let's read Golden Land. Oh, yes. I did see this Ruby, and I'm not sure what this is. I'll check in the options and all that next time I stream, but I will make sure that is on for before the next one starts. Promise. But now that is all. Farewell to all, and goodbye.